Howdy, howdy.
Hello.
And welcome. Lindy is leaving the boys to ourselves today. She's helping her daughter with some stuff at work, and so she ended up getting tied up. So we're unfortunately all you have to deal with today.
No eye candy today, guys. I'm sorry.
Easy. I'm still here.
What? As I said, no eye candy today.
Michael's always too brutally honest. I was just reading this as we were coming in. I got to pull this up. I was laughing really hard where Carnivore Hercules said, I read the label of a box of cream-filled donuts. Breaking Bad has nothing on those ingredients. I love that. Nice one. I'm keeping that, Carnivore Hercules. Good job. All right. Well, it's good to see y'all. Let's see. If you guys want to get your questions in the chat today, I appreciate it. And we'll get going on those when me and Michael catch up here and then see how your guys' week has been. Also, if you can put in there where you guys are tuning in from, that'd be awesome. And what was your guys' favorite meal this week? We'd love to hear about that too. So I am behind. I got that. I'm going to butcher the name, but I got that Visio meat or whatever. I don't know what you call it. That
right.
Kind of
meat. When you talked about last time, right?
Yeah, it's on the rack, but I was doing some work today, so I haven't put it on the smoker yet. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. But it should be tasty.
Send me some pictures.
Oh, definitely will. It's a little thinner. That's why I wasn't as excited to get it on because I think I want to get the thicker one, like the other video that I saw. But this is going to be a fun one to see what it tastes like. So, but yeah, welcome everybody. But yeah, and so let's see. This week I was surprised. What was the name of the Daily Mail? The Daily Mail put an article out on me this week, which was weird because I never talked to anybody about it. Like nobody called me or anything. I'm not even sure how they put it together. I think that they must have recycled or bought the information from
piecemealed it.
No, what was that? I did an article with somebody that they did an interview with me. Oh, it's Epic Time, and I think or Epoch Time or whatever that's called, Epoch. And I think Epoch might have sold it to them or something because otherwise I don't know where they got all this information. But it's fairly accurate. There's a few things that are off, and it's it's a year old pictures and stuff. Yeah, that one. But the comments in there are. Most of them are good, but there are some hilariously trolly comments in there that I was quite enjoying. And yeah, that one there. And so anyhow, I was going to address some of those because it was pretty funny, and I should have done a better job. I should have been prepared, but I was working on some other stuff here today. But some of those comments in there were hilarious. But some of the most common ones were, of course, you're still 450 pounds or whatever. Well, first of all, I'm now 392 pounds. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it. And second of all, that is a year ago. So I love the comments you're going, this is not sustainable. He'll never keep up with it as soon as it comes back, So those are my favorite comments to hear, are the ones where they keep looking at stuff that's a year old, videos of mine that are like a year old, 2 years old, and they keep saying, you're never going to make it. It's not sustainable. This is not a viable diet long term. You're going to have all these problems. And then this is the only diet in my life where I'm just like sailing through it day after day, getting healthier every day, losing more weight every day. I'm wearing this shirt because I bought these red shirts for Red Friday, and I bought them some different sizes, and I bought some smaller ones. And now I'm wearing it again today, even though it's not Friday, because since I got done oxalate dumping, I dumped a bunch of weight and my shirts don't fit again. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm loving these comments going back because they're not aging well already. And so it's really fun. I'm really enjoying that I started my YouTube channel still extremely overweight because I had my serious doubts about doing that because I knew nobody was going to want to hear a dude that weighed 530 pounds or something talking about how to be healthy on carnivore, right? Like that the irony of that has not escaped me, right? but
right.
but what I love about it now, getting to this point, is realizing that the reason why I was so excited to talk about it, which is why so many are so excited to talk about it in the carnivore world, is because it's, I coming from losing 300 pounds twice in my life before and losing 200 pounds twice in my life before, I've never gotten to this point in any of those diets where I'd lost that much weight. And I never went, I want to tell everybody about this because even losing that much weight back then, I knew it was just a matter of time before I gained it back. I was still just white knuckling everything. It was just a starvation. Like, it was never sustainable. No matter what the results I got, that was literally the skinny fat that everybody talks about. Like, I was losing weight, but it was all the wrong weight. I was losing muscle. I was getting sick, and I was literally just starving through calorie restriction. And so it never made me go, I got to go tell everybody about this because it's so great. It was kind of like, yeah, starving. You can starve yourself and lose weight. That's what it was like. But how long can you do it? And I had bungeed back so many times on the yo-yo thing that I knew the snapback was the brutal part. And sure enough, it always came back. But the difference on carnivore was, even when I only went from, 715 pounds to like 500. Well, even I started realizing something special has happened when I got to 647. I remember that weigh-in at 647. I'm like, something is really different this time. And that got me thinking about if this is really going to keep having this effect, not just on my health, but on my mental health, and how easy it was to maintain, how the anxiety had gone away, and how the disordered eating stuff was going away, and how much power it gave back. Is like, man, this could really be the key. And that's why when I got down into the fives, I was like, okay, we're starting a YouTube channel, even though I'm going to get pummeled by people for starting a weight loss diet channel.
And you're still going 26 months into it. So
27 now, actually. But
27?
Yeah. We're rolling into it. And for sure, it's awesome. So it's pretty amazing. And so I wanted to put that up there because I'm now very happy officially that 18 months ago I started this YouTube channel, because now it's starting to be really fun. So want to appreciate all you guys for hanging out with us for sure. All right. We got any questions?
Why?
We
got a few meals people are talking about. I'm starting them now.
Okay. No, for a second there, I was in the wrong window. I was like, why have I no? I couldn't get to the messages, but I had the wrong window open. All right. Let's check out the meals. My favorite meal this week was chuck roast, Cooked low and slow in crock pot, so delicious. That's a good one. I love that one too. That's a good winter meal, cold day meal for sure.
Yep. So it kind of warmed up here. I know it warmed up for you too.
Yeah, it did. Yesterday was so nice. I felt like wearing a tank top again. It was like a summer day outside. It was so crazy because we went from like 68% snowpack for the year to like 160% snowpack for the year in like 4 weeks. It was crazy. It went from it went from I was wondering if we are going to burn all summer to every Instacart driver that came to deliver my groceries was getting stuck driving to my house. It was a wreck. So, but then all of a sudden somebody turned up the thermostat outside and it all melted down to bare dirt again down there. It's like, woof, that happened fast. Date night, dinner Friday night, rib steaks and barbecue pork, panko crusted cheese sticks. That sounds delicious. You're making me way hungry.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, that'll make Fat Kid happy for sure. I'm it's Fat Kid approved from here for sure. Currently on my lunch break and eating beef sausage and hard-boiled eggs, probably my favorite meal this week. That's awesome. That sounds delicious. That sounds awesome. Favorite meal, crockpot. Absolutely. Vacío. There we go. Thanks, Alyssa. That's the meat that is on my rack drying right now in my mini fridge waiting. Well, and honestly, too, what it was I got up yesterday to do it. And I was just looking at the size, how thick the meat was. It's only about 1.5 inches thick. It's really big. Well, I think I have some pictures. I'll send you the pictures, Michael, but it's not super thick. But it's, it's a slab kind of like a brisket, but just real thin. And so I got it drying right now. And I want to get a nice bark on it. That's why I wanted it to be extra dry. But then I was just looking at it and I'm like, man, this thin, it's going to be hard to sear it and not, get a good sear on it and not overcook it. Yep. So what I did was I found, and I don't have anything charcoal, that gets hot, and I really want some white hot coals. So I got this sear pit. Now I bought it yesterday and had it delivered, and it's a sear pit firebox deal that gets really, really hot, and for a big piece of meat like that. And so I had that delivered yesterday. So I got to put it together out there, get the charcoal. But anyhow, so now I have a searing station, like a charcoal, get that finish on it. So now I can smoke those pieces of meat, but then sear it off on charcoal and get the best of both worlds. So so stay tuned. That's coming for sure. Let me pull up the pictures and I'll send it to Michael. Michael, I'll let you pull up or read the next one while I pull this up, if you don't mind.
This is one that we're on. I bought duck eggs today, and I'm looking forward to trying them for breakfast. I've never had duck eggs. Have you, Todd?
I have never had duck eggs either, but I heard that they taste more like eggs than chicken eggs, actually. So I was watching this guy, and he made like every egg from tiniest to biggest egg. So he started with
types.
Yeah, so he started with caviar. He started with fish eggs, and he went all the way up to ostrich eggs. But the one that stood out to me in all of those was when he got to the duck eggs, and he said these taste more eggy than chicken eggs taste. And I thought, well, that's interesting. So, all right, let me get to this.
My favorite meal of the week was lamb and lamb loin chops. Sounds good. Lamb is awesome.
That is awesome. I have to do more lamb and see if I know how to cook it. I know that it's supposed to be, I'm just not confident with it because I haven't cooked enough of it yet, but I definitely will be giving it a shot.
It's easy.
Yeah.
And we will skip over this message. His hat's not going to fit him.
Yeah, I'm running out of hats, folks.
We got a question here.
All right, question. Sometimes I get dizzy or my brain tingles until I drink some salty water, always having to track water and sodium. Any reasons or advice? Well, I have so many questions about that because that is kind of an interesting one. First of all, I'm no expert on electrolytes or hydration or any of this stuff. And so I'm just going to speak from experience of what I found out about electrolytes. So I went on this roller coaster ride of electrolytes, and the first thing that I noticed was that I was getting cramps, and I thought that I needed electrolytes to prevent them. So I started taking electrolytes, and that appeared to help for a short period of time. But then I started getting cramps, and it was from taking too many electrolytes, which I didn't even know was a thing. So depending on what electrolytes you're taking too, you can cause a electrolyte imbalance and your body holds on to certain things. You can have too many electrolytes, your body will start holding on to fluid. And then the other thing that started happening is I started doing a bunch of fasting, wet fasting. And as a crutch, I started drinking a bunch more water. And when I started drinking a bunch more water, I was washing out my electrolytes because, and I was creating an electrolyte imbalance. So I'm saying all of this to tell you that slowing down on the electrolytes and becoming more fat adapt by doing more small intermittent fasting and into some more advanced fasting, which I don't even really want to talk about here until, because that's a subject for another time. But it makes you more fat adapt, and when the more fat adaptation you have, it seems that the better your electrolyte problem will balance itself out. And also, the more priming you do, that's why I'm such a fan of the SBG priming protocol, because if you can kind of fill your nutrient deficit or any deficiencies you're having by making sure that you eat enough for a good period of time to get your body running good, that'll start going away. But in the short run, I would say monitor how much water you're drinking, if it's enough or not enough, which is kind of hard to figure out, but you can figure that out a little bit. Like if you're peeing a bunch, if your pee is really clear, or if your pee is really kind of, a deep orange,
Darker.
yeah, you can figure out if you've washed out your electrolytes. If it's real clear, then you're drinking too much water likely, and you don't have enough electrolytes. And if it's real dark, then you're dehydrated. And I find that to actually be pretty true. And then if you're having dizziness and headaches and things, try doing that, but put a little bit of salt under your tongue too for the dizziness. I notice that helps me if I'm really having a sodium problem.
Follow up from right here.
The brain tingling and dizziness gets better if I keep it between 30 to 50 milligrams of sodium per ounce of water. Well, then I think you found your own, like, also, does your body crave salt? Like, is there a reason that you're not already getting 30 to 50 milligrams of sodium per ounce of water that you drink? Are you drinking a ton of water? Do you have a taste for salt, or do you not like salt? I'm just curious about that. Can you hear the dog barking?
Yeah, a little bit.
That turkey. I just fed her a whole pound and a half of pork. She's just shaking me down to see if I got anything better right now. Anybody want a poodle? Anybody? I'll ship her to you real cheap. All right. Move on to the next one, I reckon. Well, that's coming in. Yes. Whoop. I think we clicked. Okay. I'll let you do it from now on. Target employee uniform. Exactly. That's what I feel like. I feel like I opened up a Target department store in my office chair here every time I wear this shirt. For sure.
You do the questions. I'll go through the chat and start.
Okay, thank you. All right. Just wrapped up a 24-hour day fast with chuck roast cooked in slow cooker. That's awesome. That's tasty. That's a good one to come back to.
Yep.
Good work. And then what do we got here? I broke a 24-hour dry fast with sardines, omelet, my favorite now. Hopefully I'll be there. There will be no effects on that. Yeah, for sure. I doubt that 24 hours. I don't think that'll hurt you at all. That's awesome.
You'll be fine.
Oh, and we got a super chat. Thank you so much. Just saw that. Todd, you mentioned OMAD slowed your metabolism. How many weeks or months did it take to get your metabolism back to normal? Also, what did your slow metabolism physically feel like? And what does a normal one feel like? All right. Well, this is a fun topic. Thank you so much, Gunther. So, first of all, I didn't even know what a high functioning metabolism feels like. Like, honest to God, until I did SBG's priming protocol, I don't know that I ever had a high functioning metabolism. And that is why these questions, were hard at first. And that's why the priming, like these markers, like these markers to look out for were so foreign to me because it was like people were speaking a language. It's like you were trying to see it, you were trying to watch out for a color that you'd never seen before in your life, right? And it didn't even relate. I mean, there's small things, but that's why I am such a huge fan of SBG and the priming protocol and nourishing your body, because I don't think that we truly know how sick we are sometimes because we don't know what it means to feel good. I don't think we even know all the time what it means to feel optimal. So anyhow, to start there, OMADs made my metabolism slower than they'd ever been, right? Or slow, like some of the starvation diets that I'd been on. It was real slow. But as far as where you said how many weeks or months did it take to get your metabolism back to normal? My metabolism had never been to normal, and now I have a new high point of what normal is. But I'm here to tell you that the longer I do carnivore, the higher that seems to go. So I don't know what my normal is. My normal right now is just my high water mark every time, because I don't know. I right now, like specifically this week, my metabolism feels like it's as high as it's ever been. And that's coming off of finally feeling really good after about 3 months of oxalate dumping. But what I'll tell you here is I don't know where my metabolism was at when I started carnivore. It was somewhere between terrible and complete dumpster fire. And then somehow after 9.5 months of under eating, I made it worse. Right. It came back a little bit and it was getting better, but then I made it worse. And because I had held that line for so long, for about 9.5 months. And I could tell because what that felt like was, one, a giant stall. Two, I was having, I was always thinking about, it was like I was white knuckling things again. This started to feel like a restrictive diet, like a calorie restrictive diet again, where it hadn't been that whole time. But I started restricting because I was stalling. And so went back to that restrictive mindset. And then the anxiety started coming back. The anxiety and the cravings started coming back for the first time. And I started having real problems with that. And that was when Lindy drugged me into SBG and I found priming. Now, I'll tell you that because then it took me 6.5 months before I was ready to fast again. And I know that that's a big number and everybody, is a little bit different, but you have to remember that I was pretty far gone. I came from a really deep hole and I had a lot to heal. And this had been a really long running issue with my thyroid metabolism and everything. But it took me 6.5 months before my metabolism was running super high. But I will tell you this, though, that just in about 4.5 to 5 weeks, my metabolism was running so much better that I just done 9.5 months of OMADs and tanked my metabolism, and it was easy. And then all of a sudden I did priming for 4.5 weeks and we wanted to test and see if I was ready to start, if my metabolism was up, because my appetite had opened up, did all the things it was supposed to be. And we wanted to test and see how nourished I was and if I was ready to try a fast. So I tried one OMAD and everybody thinks I'm joking, but I felt like if I was dreaming about food so hard, I felt like if I kept this up, I was going to eat my pillow in my sleep. Like it was crazy how hungry I was. Like it was maddening how hungry I was. And so I realized that was a beautiful experience to have, because I realized, oh, this is what having a high functioning metabolism and proper hunger cues, my body was screaming for nutrition and it did not give two rips about the body weight. And so I leaned into that. And this is where everybody goes, you're lying, you're crazy, whatever. But I leaned into it and I started eating about 7 pounds of meat a day, which, by the way, is not that hard to do. It's like 2 and 3/4 pounds of meat or whatever 3 times a day when I was doing the 3 meals, which is not that hard to do. But anyways, I was cranking through it, and I did that for about 6.5 months until my body finally was satiated. And during that time, I gained 21 pounds, and I lost 3 pant sizes, 3 shirt sizes, and I got so much stronger, and I got taller. And you're gonna think that that's crazy, but I did,
Oh,
because my spine and my frame
straightened up. Yep.
straightened up, because my body was building lean tissue, and it was bone, it was muscle, it was white tissue, it was cartilage and collagen, and melanin and all, or not myelin on the nerves and all that stuff. I didn't get much melanin because I'm still pasty white. So all those things I got back and felt so much better, and then when your body feels better and it's healed and you have a high functioning metabolism and then you do fasting, man, you want to see some weight melt off. It looks like I put a popsicle stick in the oven, or a popsicle in the oven. I was just melting there for a little while. But yeah, so it's really hard to tell you exactly what it feels like until you felt it. And it's crazy. And if you haven't had a high functioning metabolism before, well, it would be like trying to explain to you, a color that you've never seen before or something. It's kind of interesting. That's why I do love the SVG priming protocol, because you find you experience all these actual markers for yourself, these health markers that you may have not even been aware of, because we get so deadened down by being sick after a while, just numbed up. It's crazy.
I got your pictures for your.
Oh, there we go. So yeah, that's the Vaccio meat, and so that's how big they are. They're about as long as a brisket, but they're only about an inch in it. They're like as thick as fairly thick ribeye. I mean, my ribeyes I cut are actually twice that thick. They're about half the thickness of, well, maybe a little less than half the thickness of a brisket flat. Way thinner than the point, of course. But so this is why I was so concerned how I'm going to get a sear on these guys, without overcooking them.
Right.
Because these are tender pieces of meat. You don't cook this like brisket where you're going to get it to anywhere from 93 to 102 degrees. You want to cook this at like to an internal temperature of 130. So I'm going to cold smoke this for about 4 to 6 hours just to get a smoke ring and flavor, and try to build up as much of a bark, which is why I'm going hard on the dry, air dry aging in the refrigerator. And then I'm going to try to get a smoke ring on this thing and get a bark built up on it. But then, do you have that picture of that little sunbuck I bought? Yeah. So I bought this little dude, and it's a fun little guy. And so I'm going to get that like stoked up. Like I'm going to make it till that handle's hard to hold with your grab hold with your bare hands. Like there's going to be a lot of white hot coals in that puppy. And I'm going to get, even blow some air in there and really stoke it and get that thing super hot. And then I'm going to like flash sear those guys right on the coals and see if I can't get a super quick surface level sear on that thing without overcooking the inside. And then I'll let you guys know. Pray for it, because that thing's either going to be awesome or I'm going to have to bury it in the backyard and start over, one of the two. So, all right. So I saw Carrie Man at Homestead How gave an update on Mitch, and he said Mitch was in the hospital getting some tests, but it sounds like he's doing fantastic. And his son gave Carrie Man an update on it, and his son said Mitch is still Mitch, and he's giving the nurses a hard time about trying to feed him non-carnivore foods or whatever. And so he's making sure the whole staff knows. And yeah, I mean, like I believe the Mitch and everybody believes that this happened from heart conditions that he's had in the past up until, for a long period of time. So it's a pre-existing condition and a risk factor that he had, but Mitch is still Mitch. He's 100% carnivore, and he's making sure everybody knows it. So that's awesome. So we're all happy, and that Mitch has got his vigor back, and hopefully we're all praying for him that we'll see him here soon. So, All right. Do either of you eat dairy? Eggs. Some people call eggs dairy. I don't, but I eat eggs, and then butter is dairy. But I eat some butter now again. But other than that, I will have some cheese on Christmas. But that's pretty much it. Because cheese is just
And a little sour cream too.
yeah, cheese, sour cream. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I do that on Christmas. I have dairy on Christmas because it's my splurge food. And I really like it that way, but it's not something that I moderate well, and it makes me retain fluid, and it makes me just a little inflamed, and so I don't do dairy normally.
Man,
It's cold here in Ohio again, 17 degrees, real feel this morning. Yuck. Yeah, that's a cold one. I'm looking forward to summer too. I'm looking forward to summer more this summer, I think, than I ever have being 300 pounds.
right.
Like, give me that sun, baby. I need that sun. I left the lake Havasu when it's yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's LaDonna. Hey, LaDonna. Hello from Virginia. Favorite meal, ribeye. That's been all my meals this week as I scored a roll from Chef Store and Sale. That's awesome. I've been on quite the ribeye roll here as well. I think I've had between 1 and 2 ribeyes a day. That's all I've eaten, I think, for probably close to the last 60 or so days. I've been kind of on that roll. I'm trying to think. The last thing I had before I went on that was a Power Bowl, and I feel like it was couple months ago, but I don't know. Time is flying. So it's definitely been like 6 weeks for sure, but it's been a good run. Central Florida here, stew meat and crock pot. Drank the broth too. Very yummy. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
That is delicious. If I could find a duck eggs, I would try them. Yeah. I've never tried. Well, I think I did try one. My sister has like 2 ducks, and they lay eggs occasionally. And they'll all of a sudden my sister will send me over because she's watching my chickens. Every once in a while, my sister will send me over my chicken eggs, and there will be a couple giant eggs in there. I'm like, what the heck is this thing? And she goes, "That's a duck egg." But my sister doesn't care for them. But when she finds them, she sends them over to me. But a lot of times, the neighbor likes them a lot, so she gives them to the neighbor. Favorite meal this week is prime rib. That one's a hard one to beat ever. Duck eggs are amazing. They're so much creamier than chicken eggs. That's what I hear. I'm going to have to try one.
The ducks don't lay them as often as chickens do, though, do they?
I think they do. Yeah. I think they've lay them once a day. Maybe it's once every 2 days. I think they lay them pretty frequently. Right. I know that they're hard to crack. I mean, their shells
thicker shell. Yeah.
Thicker for sure. I bought a lamb roast today to try in the slow cooker. That sounds delicious.
Sounds really good. Yeah.
I only do electrolytes on some of the days I'm in the sauna. Yeah, that makes sense. It's funny because I drank so many electrolytes when I was first doing carnivore because, I came from keto, and between the keto carnivore world, right, especially a couple years ago, everything was about you got to have your electrolytes. And then you're like, actually, the meat does pretty good. I think it's a good and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with taking electrolytes, but it is funny how you start becoming kind of everything just becomes real simple. A minimalist is the word that I'm trying to think of. Yeah. I'm starting the priming orientation tomorrow, and congratulations. That's awesome, Barbara. I hate it. I hear it gets pretty tough with the amount of food. Any tips or just suck it up? All right. I don't want to but in my mind, I just approach it one meal at a time, and you're going to do the best you can. You don't want to be super, super miserable, but you do want to give it a good go, and you want to eat past your normal. It's like you don't want to eat till you're sick, but also you want to push your boundaries of what you would normally do past satiation, So you want to get somewhere between too stuffed and satiated, right? And so you're trying to find a bearable spot there. And then you're trying to also eat ahead of the cravings. So that's what gets tough, is that you're trying to eat when you're not hungry, but you're trying to stay ahead of the hunger, trying to show that you're you're in an environment that's plentiful, and you're trying to get your appetite to open up. And so with that in mind, for the first beginning of it, like, just do all the hyper palatable carnivore foods to get through. The beauty of priming and the beauty of starting this way is so that you can, the number one thing is, don't think about weight loss, but you're thinking about healing and getting through any kind of carb cravings or anything that you're having. And you're trying to open up your appetite. And then when that happens and your appetite is opened up, then you can start refining things. But so going into it, use the bacon, use the cheese, use the egg, use the butter, use the cream if you need it, do those things that are hyper palatable to you and just get the food in. And then use those to try to get away from the artificial sweeteners, to get away from any of that sweet palate, and to get away from the caffeine if you can. That's a big one too. But that's you'll see it. You don't have to give up the caffeine right away by any means. And this is a process, but the effects are pretty awesome when you can get there. But for now, eat everything that's palatable, and then just there is going to be a little bit of it where you're just going to have to suck it up, and it's just, you're going to have to take your medicine. There's going to be days like that too. But just know that it's very much worth it, and that you don't have to suffer too long, and then your appetite will open up, and then it'll get fun. So can't wait to hear from you, and say hi to us in the open chat when you're in there. Hannah Taylor, 9 days carnivore, and I've been having lower back aches the last 3 days. Wondering if it's an electrolyte thing. Guess I've got some troubleshooting to do. 9 days carnivore, been having lower back aches the last 3 days. So I don't know your story, Hannah. I'm just going to say I had so many aches when I was first going through carnivore. And part of it was because I was moving so much fluid, and I was moving lactic acid out of joints, and I was doing some detoxing. And I think your body, I think, throws a little bit of a fit during that time because of, the little angry little microbes in your gut that want the sugar, and they're kind of beating up on you. Your body's in a real stress. I mean, it's a big change. It's a big metabolic change. And I don't know, I don't know that there's any one thing. There could be so many things that it is, but 9 days is just way too early to know. You can definitely try some things there. You can definitely try some electrolytes. You can definitely, try moving your body a little bit. You can definitely try eating more fat. You can try some of those things, but you're kind of right in that window where you're really are switching over from burning glucose to burning fat, right in that area. And so this is where all the little monsters raise their ugly heads and start really fighting you. So definitely hang in there and see. You really want to get to that 90-day mark every way you can, and you really want to your approach to be to eat your way through the cravings, eat carnivore through the cravings to get you through them, and eating more is always going to be pretty much the best answer for this first 90 days for sure. All right. Love salt. Sometimes I want corned beef, and that has too much salt. I have to compensate with water. Well, if you are wanting salt and you're having those brain fog issues and the tingly brain and the dizziness, then your body then definitely lean into that. Have all the salt that you feel you need. Really salt the heck out of your food. Just get a good salt and see how you feel. But I think you are definitely needing it then. If you love it, if your body wants it, then give it.
If it's craving, it's best thing to do is listen to your body.
For sure. Catherine says she will take Cosette. Cosette, get in here. I'm putting a label on you. You're going on FedEx.
Sold.
Exactly. Just so you know, she eats more meat than I do, and that's saying a lot. I have electrolytes every morning, still have to salt everything. I get bad leg cramps. I have electrolytes every morning, still have to salt everything. So does that mean that you're craving salt every morning, or that you are salting things every morning because you're getting the leg cramps, Kevin or Kev? As an N equals 1, I sometimes cut out electrolytes every time I get hand, leg, foot cramps. I do whatever uses less than half of what I needed went earlier and on the proper human diet. Yeah. Oh, and yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I do believe that's something we got, it's because it's not something you hear a lot of, but the truth of the matter is for a lot of people, we're taking too much electrolytes, and that also causes an imbalance. Yesterday was my 1-year carniversary join SBG. That's awesome, Ash. Julie, I can't wait to see you in there, Julie. We'll be back on, I think the open chat's open on Tuesday after Monday's the kickoff call, so you'll see us there Tuesday. I just finished my first year carnivore, joined SPG a couple of days ago. Should have done that a long time ago. Good group. That's absolutely, it's crazy, right? Because I know that everybody thinks that I'm a SPG infomercial, but it's I don't get any paid to be there. I don't get paid to say it. I don't get paid to get people to join there. I just think it's so much. I think you're so much better set up in that community to be successful on carnivore and to have these nuances that are going to come up, on a daily and weekly basis to help you navigate those things. Even though we're all, an N equals 1, and even though we're all individual, there are a lot of people in there that have had similar experiences that can kind of point you in the right direction through the nuances. And you're gonna, especially coming from a standard American diet, you're gonna experience so many things that you might even think are negative, because change doesn't always feel good in the moment, that you could misconstrue it for that, meaning that you're doing something because you're feeling something negative, that you're doing something wrong. And then you become really reactive, and it kind of has you chasing your tail. And so it's so nice to know what's happening when it's happening, and have a pretty good idea from the community of what you're going through when you're going through it, and what the tips and tricks are that everybody shares. It's just so much handier that way. It really kind of keeps you where you need to be, keeps you in the middle. Hey, Todd, thank you for the carnivore diet. Just completed my 5K run in 21 minutes.
Wow.
That is ridiculously good. That's awesome.
Was the bull chasing you?
No joke. That's awesome. Congratulations. Man, that's killer. All right, Andy, just joined SBG today. Nervous to start priming. I never eat breakfast. 3 meals a day is far from normal for me. Yep, you and me both. That's what's crazy. I've been doing carnivore for about 8 weeks now. Lost about 25 pounds. That's awesome. I want to stop there too, because this is one thing. Man, this comment, not your comment, Angie, but this comment on my videos and stuff, and Michael's videos and that article and stuff keeps coming up. These guys that keep going, they would say to you, Angie, 8 weeks to 25 pounds, you just lost water because you got rid of the carbohydrates. And it's like, yeah, okay,
that's still fine. Weight.
Yeah, you know why? It's because that water carries inflammation too, and that water is still weight and pressure and joint pain and all of these things, and it's still getting rid of something that's having a negative effect on you. I lost like 150 pounds of water because I had congestive heart failure. My body was keeping it. Well, I'll tell you what, there's no such thing as saying just losing water, especially if you have
Right.
lymphatic problems or water retention problems or lymphedema problems or all those things. When you get that water off, like who
Feels so much better.
cares?
Yep.
Yeah, like who cares? When you get all that water and inflammation and crap off your body, that is the beginning of your body being able to heal. So
Yep.
don't ever let anybody tell you that it doesn't, that 20 pounds doesn't matter or 25 pounds doesn't matter because it was just mostly water weight. That's true, but that's a good thing. Also, I don't know what they think's in fat cells. It's not just cellulite. There's also
Oh,
water in your
oh yeah.
fat cells. Like, I don't know what they're
Whoa.
thinking. It's
What are
crazy.
we, 75% water, no?
Right. It's like, what did you think we were?
Yeah.
Duh. Yeah. And like, no kidding. Thanks, genius. I just get so tired of hearing that stuff. It's crazy.
Here, I would just let's just do this really
Oh,
quick.
yep.
Let's.
All right. Let me get that off there. If you hit that button one more time. All right. Hit the button. I'm done. My hands are off.
All right, you're good.
Okay. Perfect. Yes. Lindy's GoFundMe. So we're still trying to top off the last 11% of her GoFundMe. We just want to make sure that Lindy has the funds to pay all the bills that come in on that. And so we're really close. So we just want to put that out there again for anybody that doesn't know. Lindy is awesome. And she's lost over 500 pounds and she's in Melbourne, Australia. And we ran a GoFundMe for Lindy because she was on the list to get skin reduction surgery. And if for anybody that doesn't know, when you lose 500 pounds, you have an amount of loose skin that's not going to go away on its own. And it becomes an actual medical problem, even known. The insurance companies want to call it an elective surgery because they pretend like it's elective and, cosmetic surgery because, they want to pretend like, you don't have to have it done. Right. And so to have 50 extra pounds of skin on you is so, so overwhelming. It keeps you off balance. It pulls on your back. It pulls on your hips. You don't sleep good. You can't wear anything that's built for standard body, even remotely standard body sizes. It pulls on your hips. It pulls you off balance. So you start walking funny. So it causes knee pain and ankle pain and hip pain. So it's such a big thing to get done. But she wasn't gonna be able to afford it because that was $35,000 altogether in Australian money, which I think is about 66% of that or whatever in US dollars. But at any rate, she was gonna have to cancel the surgery. And me and Michael got together and ran a GoFundMe against her will and her judgment. For sure, she did not want us to do it, but we did it. And you guys are so awesome. This community is so awesome that she was able to get the down payment to lock up the surgery. And she just had it about 3 weeks ago now. Yeah, about 3 weeks ago now. And let me tell you, you guys saved her life. It's incredible because when they got in there, she had a hernia, and that doctor said she had about 3 days before, because her colon had slipped through the hernia that she had that she didn't even know she had. And that doctor said she had about 3 days before she was going to lose her colon and possibly her life if that had turned into an emergency. So it is absolutely incredible. The timing on that doctor, that surgeon said there couldn't have been a better time, that it was, pretty divine that had happened. And it really did save Lindy's life. So you guys are awesome. And so we're throwing that up there so that, if you can give $1, give it. If you can't, we totally love you guys and understand. Just pass
Just
out
share it along.
just share the link out on social media so that we can get her the rest of the way there. We're within $4,000, a little under in Australian, which I think is like $2,800 US, to completing and paying for that whole surgery. So it's so awesome. We appreciate you guys' help so much.
And she's feeling so much better now too. So much pressure off of her legs and stuff.
It's crazy. I mean, how ridiculous. And how ridiculous is it that hospital? I mean, just think about how stupid these medical systems are.
I know.
They say
it's the insurance companies. Yeah.
Right. But think about this. They're like, well, we'll buy you all the GLP ones you want at whatever, how many hundreds of dollars a month for forever for you to control your weight,
Right. I know.
Well, but it's a forever thing, but we'll buy you all that on insurance, and we'll we'll pay for your insulin and your diabetes medicine, all this stuff. We'll pay for all the things that help you be sick. But boy, if you do carnivore and you lose all the weight, they
You're
won't
on your
help.
own.
Yeah, you're on your own. And then they said, well, that's not medically necessary surgery. And so they wouldn't cover it. And so we crowdfund it. And then she goes in there, and that surgery that wasn't medically necessary saved her life because she was going to have a huge medical emergency in the next
Yeah. And
3
then
days.
even a bigger bill with all that.
Yeah. Which the insurance would have had to have paid, because then it would have been, but think about how stupid that is, that they're like, no, clearly this isn't a medical emergency. And then it saved her life. Like literally the doctor that she went and seen told her, yeah, that this surgery saved your life. And so it's like, how is that not medically necessary if this saved your life, when I don't think anybody's life has been ever saved by a GLP-1, but they'll pay for that crap all day long, and they'll pay for bariatric surgery and all that nonsense. But I don't know. I'm just still salty about it, but that's how we're here. And that's why this community rocks.
Does.
Hey, Brett, good to see you. Hey, everybody, just got done grilling a bunch of burgers for dinner. I had 4 3/4 pound burgers with 1 bone marrow butter and Maldon salt. That's awesome, Brett. That sounds like a heck of a good meal to me.
It does.
Go check out Who's Your Carnivore, Brett. He's back on the YouTube making videos again. He had to catch up on some stuff over the holidays, but he's pumping out videos. Brett's also going to be coming out to the Montana. I should probably talk about that. So we're, I think this weekend we're going to be launching it. Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that, actually. This weekend we're going to be launching it on Friday, I think, but tickets will go on sale for the 4th of July meetup, and it's going to definitely be the 4th and 5th of July, and then I don't know if it's going to be into the 6th of July or not. We're still working on that, but so far I believe we have Dr. Anthony Chafee, Dr. Sean Baker, Dr. Robert Kiltz, Bella the Steak and Butter Gal. I believe Carrie Mann with Homestead How is going to be there.
I think Todd, the carnivore cure, is going to be there.
I heard that guy's going to be there.
I'm not going.
Michael, he's being stubborn. He's like, I'm going to wait for a bigger event. Your event's not big enough for me. I'm a big name. He's Mr. Big Shot. He's just big timing us all, but that's all right. In another year, Michael, I'm rounding you up.
I know.
Yeah, so it's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's going to be I'm trying to get together, and this is what I'm putting together right now this week, but I'm trying to make sure that we have beef, buffalo, and elk on the menu for the big barbecue. So they'll have the flavor of Montana in there, so you guys can all come and carnivore out with us on some wild game. So that's awesome, Sarah.
Sarah's going to be there. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, it's coming up, and we're going to be launching it here very soon. We're just getting all the logistics put together because it takes a lot, actually.
Welcome, man.
That's awesome, man. All right. Where are we at? Bone marrow butter sounds awesome. Just had a couple of chuck brisket burgers myself. Had a couple pounds each. That's awesome. All right. This is my 2nd day without dairy, except butter. The true test will be as I get into my week. Yeah, for sure. Sure. But I think you're going to enjoy the freedom that comes with that.
And you'll feel better too. Yeah. For
sure. Duck eggs are awesome. The yolks are very rich. That's what I hear. I hear they're pretty good. I think I saw a guy make some really creamy scrambled eggs. You know how you keep them moving, put a lot of butter in there, and pull them out when they're wet still, and they look delicious. And somebody did that with duck eggs, and I was like, that looks like, it almost looked like he was pouring like an egg yolk pudding out, like a warm egg yolk pudding. It was so thick and rich. Man, it looked good. I've tried duck eggs. I like chicken eggs better. Nice. You know, I think the most exotic egg I've ever had was a pickled quail egg. Those are kind of interesting tasting. I am priming. I eat breakfast at 7 a.m., lunch at 2 p.m., not hungry for dinner sometimes. I am hungry at 8 or 9 p.m. If I eat at that time, then I feel very uncomfortable while sleeping. What should I do? Well, good at the 7 a.m. thing. 2 p.m. is a little too late. And so you got to close that window. You got to bring that. So if you're going to eat at 7, in my mind, you got to eat that next meal like no later than 11, to get that next meal in there. And then you got to be eating another one around 3 to 4. And I can already hear you going, no way. But here's the beauty that happens. The reason why it's, this is from my experience, but I went through the same thing. They're like, you got to get these meals in. And I'm like, how? Like the meal, I feel like there's a brick sitting in my stomach 7-8 hours later after eating a big steak. And what ended up happening through priming was my body started breaking down and metabolizing that steak in 3.5 hours instead of like 7 hours. And there wasn't this big brick of food. And then my body just started eating through it. And my stomach microbiome healed up really good. And it would just break down that food in like 3.5 hours. And then I was hungry and even ravenous again in 3.5 hours. But it takes a lot of work, and you have to eat when you don't feel like eating for a little while to really make that open up. But that's why I will tell you this, and this is the truth. It was harder to do priming than it was to start carnivore. It was easier to start carnivore than it was to prime.
Yes, I agree.
All right. Question: how much can 2 to 5 cups of coffee hold me back on carnivore? Also, I'm still using spices. This is my personal.
Are we talking black coffee, or are you putting cream and sugar in there too? You just keeping just black.
Well, I mean, even if it is black, I'm going to say a lot. If you're drinking 2 to 5 cups, I think it holds you back a lot. In my experience, it held me back a lot. If I drink 2 to 5 cups of coffee, I'm going to eat half as much food in the daytime.
It increased your appetite that much?
No, it decreases it.
Oh, it decreased. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to eat half as much is what I said, like half the amount in normal. Yeah, it's going to decrease it, and I'm going to not feel like eating. And the problem with drinking so much coffee, the spices, depending on what you're using, the spices may matter or they may not, because I don't know what you're using. But the coffee, to me, is a bigger problem, especially 5 cups as a bigger problem, because that's definitely going to have an effect on your hunger. And so, because it just hides your hunger cues. And so carnivore is a nourishing way of eating, and you're wanting to nourish your body, to heal your hormones, to get the fat in, to open up your appetite so that your body can heal your metabolic disease, so that your body can get the nutrients and the fat that it needs to heal your hormones and do all these things. And so, one of the real bottlenecks in this thing is getting your gut microbiome to heal, getting your appetite to heal, and getting to hear those true satiety and hunger hormones, to hear them honestly and to recognize them, and then to build like this, this relationship with those things again, that you're listening to them, you're giving them what they want, you're kind of healing this metabolic pathway through your signaling. And if you're using things like coffee that are going to really dull that down and quiet that down and cause signaling issues, you're just you're not going to hear that. So I think if you can do it, which it's if you understand how to do it, if you prime your way through it, if you eat your way through the cravings, you can get to it, and get free from that. But however, all those things said, if you're going to do the coffee, don't do it before you eat. Always do it after a meal as a dessert, like they say, and see if that'll help you. But ultimately, if you're not already in there, join Steak and Butter Gang so we can help you through that, and you can kind of wean off that coffee over time. But if the coffee keeps you carnivore, then keep the coffee. It's way more important to be carnivore than it is to be miserable and not be able to make it sustainable for you. You are an N=1 experiment, so do what keeps you carnivore.
I drink my coffee each day. I'm very happy with it.
There we go. All right. Question: wondering if I have kidney stone or muscle pain for the past week, sharp pain in one spot lower rib, left side, yesterday pain, under ribs, and front, and nausea. Sounds like it. It sounds pretty close to it. Mine, I feel it more left side, lower rib cage on the back side rather than the front. However, if something's moving as I pass the kidney stones, I just passed, I don't know, a few months ago, I passed 3 kidney stones. And as it moved around, it moved to the front side. But yeah, if it's a mixture of sharp pain and also dull, achy pain that feels like a bad cramp, it feels like an organ is cramping somehow, and it feels like you're gonna puke, and also starts to make you have all the it's like you're having all the feelings. If you're, I don't know, I'm gonna guess you're a dude. If you're a dude and you ever got kicked in the berries or something, or you rattled your stuff, that all that pain that comes in afterwards, like you feel it, and then you think you got away with it, and then that 20 seconds later, it all the pain swoops in, hits you, that pain in the gut and all that stuff. Kind of feels like all that, and it just comes on and off and starts moving around. So I don't know, but I would think that that's what that is, especially if it comes with nausea. That was that pain, because the pain level's high enough that it makes you nauseous. Yeah, you're gonna know. You're gonna know shortly. How long do you say this is going on? Past week.
Past week. Yeah.
That seems like a long time though. I don't know. You really might want to go get that one checked out. If I would have known that going to the doctor to get steroids relaxes all that so that you can pass it easier, I probably would have went and done it. So you might want to go check that out, because that's a pain you don't want to mess with, and I can't imagine wanting it to let it last a week. That would be pretty bad. By the way, 15 days carnivore and learned priming about 5 days ago. That's awesome. That's awesome. I definitely want to hear what your thoughts are on it after you've gone through it. I'm having oxalate dumping for the past month using use tea during a week and up the amount to 24 ounces a day. Apples and apple cider vinegar, I think is what he's saying. Twice a day. ACT. What is ACT?
Yeah, I would think apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's gonna help you for sure. It definitely pulled me out of a funk, because it was, and that's how it started for me too. Was 3 kidney stones, and then went into skin rash, and then went into knee pain, and then went into hip pain, and then I was bleeding from the navel, and it went to my right foot and back to my hip. Yeah, it's oxalate dumping is not for the faint of heart. That stuff is real. Don't forget to hit that like button. Appreciate it, LaDonna. Thank you so much. Everybody go check out LaDonna, the carnivore camper. She's got a new YouTube channel. I think she's getting ready to post some videos. Family Roots Farm. How long did it take you to start really feeling better? Carnivore for 6 months. Still have so much to heal, but everyone says they're all better in 3 weeks. Yeah, there's a little bit of a honeymoon effect that sometimes happens in 3 weeks, but there's a lot to heal, right? Like, I don't know, people, when people say they're all better in 3 weeks, that completely depends on, how bad off you are. It's like that's why we say you're an N equals 1, because everybody's in their own spot. I've 27 months into this, and I'm certainly not all better. I don't even know what all better would mean, to be honest with you. I'm a lot better for sure, but I'm not all better. And there's so many things, family roots. It could be, I don't know what you said you're carnivore for 6 months. I don't know what that means to you. I don't know what you're eating. I don't know what you're not eating. I don't know how much you're eating. I don't know if you're doing fasting or if you're over fasting. I don't know if you're nourished. There's so many things that I don't know. But what I can tell you is, if you're going about this restrictive, it's going to take a lot longer, and it's going to be really hard on you. So you need to not restrict what you're eating, and you need to even kind of make make a job out of it, kind of like it's your workout, to make sure that you're nourishing yourself enough for at least until you can trust your own hunger cues and your appetite opens up. But you really just need to be in the steak and butter gang so that we can help you through all that. And I know I sound like a broken record, but I truly believe that. At least try it for a month so that you can ask all the questions you need and get some real close guidance. So come and check it out if you can. I hear treats in the background.
Cause that barking,
Yeah. Yeah, you hear that too. That's her warning shot. What really happens is that when I get on here and start talking, she knows that she can make noise and then I'll give her stuff. But then also, this is the time of night where mom knows I'm busy too. So if mom's going to do something naughty and get some food, then she does it now. And Cosette is just as much of a crackhead as mom is. And so when mom gets standard American diet food, Cosette is shaking mom down too, trying to get some stuff. And so I'll just give you an example. I was on a call yesterday at about this time, and then the call got over, and I went out in the living room, and mom is munching on a piece of pizza. And I was like, "What is that?" And she goes, "Your sister brought it to me." So it was my sister's fault. And Cosette was sitting there bending over backwards trying to get a piece of pepperoni off that thing. And I was like, "You two, I cannot turn my head for a second. You guys are over here sabotaging yourselves." How to get rid of the feeling of giving up. How to get rid of the feeling of giving up. I feel that I can't handle anything and I don't want to live anymore. One day I'm okay and acting like it, but the other days I really can't. Man, I relate with that so much. I relate with that an awful lot. And yeah, this is why I get so, so salty about the propaganda and the stuff about addiction, about all these things, because we get given so much bad information by people that we're supposed to be able to trust, by institutions that are supposed to be there just to answer these type of questions. And they've just done a terrible job and they've let us all down, and they've been bought off, and the whole thing's whatever. But the thing that you need to know is that I know you've probably been to these places, that have you thinking that this is your fault, that this is your problem, that you're different and you're broken. And, of course you're just a food addict and all these things, or whatever is going on with you. That's, for me, that was where the giving up came from. What the reality of it is you're just like all of us. You really are. And if there's any thing I want you to take away from this is that, Michael was over 700 pounds. I was over 700 pounds. And I don't even know if weight is your struggle or if it's, just health or addiction or whatever. But I mean, I was addicted to all sorts of things too. And I didn't see any way of getting through it. I really didn't think I was ever getting out of this hole at all, ever. And I would see other people getting through it. And I thought that'll never be me. They have something that I don't have. And what I'm telling you is we are on the other side of it now, on the, at least as far as not being addicted to it.
Right. And that dark place that we were stuck in.
Yeah. And we are on the other side. And what I can tell you is there's nothing special about us. Not one single thing that's special about us. There's not. We do not have more willpower than you. We are not less broken than you. There's not anything inherently wrong with you. What's wrong is that the food is incredibly addictive and that our food environment is really screwed up. And this actually does work. So what I'd like you to do is email me at thecarnivorecure@gmail.com, and we're going to help you get into a community so that you can see for yourself firsthand so many people just like you that are ready to give up, and we're all ready to give up and all thought that they were broken and couldn't do it, and now they're doing it. Because this being nourished and healing your body will absolutely fix that. And I don't know how long, I don't know how long you've been doing this, but for the first like 90 days, that stuff is the worst because you are having all sorts of hormonal problems, and these little gut microbiomes gut microbes are driving you crazy that want sugar, and you're going through a bunch of withdrawals. And if you're like me, that causes your anxiety to go off the Richter scales, and that anxiety fills your head with hopelessness and these thoughts that you're never going to do it. This is going to be like every other failed diet. This is impossible. Who do you think you are? All this stuff that goes through your head, and it's so strong in those first days. And that's why it's so handy to have a community. And so we'd love to have you come into SBG and come chat with us. So send me an email and we will get you hooked up. I'm new to carnivore. I've been on the diet for 2 weeks. Congratulations. We would love to keep you in the chat here. We do this I just joined SBG, so I'm hoping to get more support and need recipes. Oh, well, that's even better. Come on over and check us out in the open chat and come hang out in the calls with us, and you will get a bunch of recipes. And yeah, I can't wait to watch your progress. Support and community is huge. 100%. Brett, here's Charlie in Maryland. Hey there, Michael, Todd, giving you a thumbs up. Thank you so much, Charlie. I appreciate you guys so much. Hope you guys are doing well tonight.
Thanks, Charlie.
Tonight, I baked 8 eggs and 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Family liked it and filled me up. I did use some hot sauce for a bit of flavor. That's fine. That's perfect.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yep. I ate a whole bunch of hot sauce. I like the Tabasco because it's just vinegar, and I found out through my own N=1 experiment that does not light me up. Have y'all figured out? Oh, we did that one. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Makes you think the people running the insurances are paying themselves by selling their farms. Oh, absolutely. 100%. I'll get you added to endangered list after. It might be because they might be running a little bit slim after we get done with it. There's going to be a lot less head of elk for sure if we get our fill. I love duck eggs too. Often when people are having issues with chicken eggs, they can tolerate duck eggs better. That's awesome. That's really good. A good tip too. I love dairy, but dairy doesn't love me. That is a sad and common reality with dairy, isn't it, Michael?
Yeah.
Is bone marrow better? Just whipped bone marrow. Is bone marrow better? Just whipped bone marrow. I don't know. I don't know exactly what you're asking. I know that Brett was telling me his process the other day, but he makes bone marrow whipped butter is what he does. And so he takes and I think he fire roasts the bone marrow on the femur, takes it out, puts it in a bowl, then puts butter in with it, and then whips it up together. And he said that, that it's amazing. So he's promised to make that aside if I can get a hold of the bones, the canoed femur bones. If I can get a hold of enough of those, we're going to be doing some of that. So that's going to be a good time. I noticed that when I do not eat at home, my stomach gets itchy. I'm guessing that I am getting something my body doesn't like and dumping it through my skin. Yeah, usually when I get itchy skin, it's directly related to like oxalate dumping or something my gut is not.
Something triggered it. Yep.
Yep. Let's see here. Can I make a good beef brisket in the oven? I think you can. Yeah. I was just watching. Who's that guy? I don't know. I'll try it for you. I'm going to try a brisket in the oven. I've just never done it. I've tried a brisket in sous vide. I've tried brisket in the crock pot. Those are delicious. I've never tried it in the oven, but there's that guy. He's not carnivore or anything, but he's the guy that's the chef that is fighting cancer right now, but he's like the chef at a sorority house or something, and he always makes really good shorts. And he just did that. I wish I could find it, but I watched him do it, and yes, he used seasoning and stuff, but I don't think you have to. But he said, yes, it's not as good as smoked, but it was dang good, and it looked delicious and super tender. And yeah, I think you could do just fine with a brisket out of the oven. So definitely give it a try. And if you don't like it cooked brisket style out of the oven, then chop it up and slow cook it and make chili out of it, or grind it up and make brisket burger out of it, and then cook the burgers however you want, because that would do just fine too. Let's see. How to maneuver a dinner with family at a Thai restaurant. Well, trying to think what's at a Thai restaurant. I don't. I'm trying to think of what kind of meats they might have there. Yeah, I doubt that any of the meat's clean. I would just eat before I go there, to be honest with you, and I just have water. I just wouldn't eat at a Thai restaurant.
Right.
I would eat before I go or fast through it, to be perfectly honest with you. And if they give you a hard time, you can just tell them you're allergic to all the food, or your stomach's not. You can give them some reason that you're not eating, just to get them off your back if you want to. But otherwise, I mean, you can call ahead of time and ask them if they have any meat that's not seasoned, that's not marinated, and not cooked in seed oil, and ask them that. But I think that one's going to be a hard thing to trust.
A lot of pork.
I gotcha. Yeah, I think that's going to be a hard thing to trust. But you can try
For it
it.
to be clean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, I get lied to all the time when I call ahead at restaurants, and they say, nope, nope, nope. There's none of this, none of that, none of this. And then you go eat it, and it's like, there was something, because I don't feel good, I'm a little confused about the best way to end a 4-day fast planned on a 5-day, but 4-day for sure. So yeah, I mean, it gets hard, right? Because that's the window that it does definitely start getting hard. Anything after about 48 to 72 hours, you're going to have to start refeeding slowly. You're going to have to go through a refeed process. And the best way to do it, here's ultimately, there's not a whole lot to this. It's just that your stomach, your stomach bile and bacteria kind of dries up a little bit, and your stomach is just not acidic, and you just don't have the bile there to break down a bunch of food. So what you want to do is you want to put a little bit of something in your stomach to get it making bile, to start to the digestion process, to start filling your stomach back up with bile, and to be able to digest the food. And so you want a little bit of broth, or a little tiny piece of meat, or like a half an egg, or even just one whole egg. And then you wait like 4 hours, and then you give it a little bit again. And if you do this over like a 8-hour process, I generally try to break a fast. I will usually start a fast at like 11 a.m. So I usually break a fast at 11 a.m. And then if it's a big one, long fast over 72 hours, then I refeed, and I will do like a little bit of broth, or a little bit of cold meat sliced real thin, like I'm talking like an ounce or two at most. And then 4 hours later, I'll do it again. And you're going to get diarrhea. It's going to come out, like I have a grease goose. But then I do that twice. I just let it be. And then I go to bed. And when I wake up the next morning, usually everything's red as rain, and I can digest a full steak the next morning. That's how it works for me. How long should I prime? The $2 million question. So that answer is individual. And I know that everybody hates my answer to that question.
It's the truth, though.
It is the truth. Some people only need to prime for 2 weeks. Some people have primed for 1.5 years plus. It depends on how much you need to heal. Depends on how malnourished you are. Depends on so many factors. It depends on how much you can eat. It depends on what is broken. There's just so many factors that all that I can tell you is that there's so many people that have done it with so many walks, and none of us are the same. But for you to have your best understanding of it, and your best shot out of making carnivore and priming work and really healing your body, you really need a good community, and SBG is the best one I know of to get you to your goals and to help you heal your body. So I would say check out SBG Steak and Butter Gang if you would like help finding the real answer to that question. All right. I think my gut microbiome was healing, but then I got an infection in my gums, and the doctor put me on antibiotics, a high dose for 10 days. I feel it took a huge step back. Any healing suggestions? Yeah, I think, like, look, it just takes some time to do that, and it does absolutely nuke your gut microbiome, but we all have that problem sometime. And so what I think I'm trying to think of, I think it's the raw kefir and the raw yogurt that Bella likes a lot because that's got the good enzymes in it that can help culture your stomach really well, and also it's not pasteurized. So see if you can find some of the raw kefir or kefir and the raw yogurts and try that. And then maybe I've heard some people even doing some of the ferments, like just a small dose, like really small, like not even a full teaspoon of like kimchi or sauerkraut, real fermented foods. There's also that real fermented pickles that people use sometime. I think they're called, what are those called, Michael? They're called Bubba's pickles or something, the fermented ones.
Not sure.
Yeah, there's a certain, I'm not sure of it either. I don't mess with it too much, but there's something like Bubbles or Bobos or something fermented pickles that people eat. Something kind of like that. I know I'm screwing it up, but it's something like that. If Tim's in the chat, I know Tim knows what they are. If Tim pops that out.
I haven't seen Tim.
I got you. But anyhow, yeah, some small bits of ferments. I mean, people talk about even taking those ferments and just taking like the pickle and dipping the pickle into some water and then pulling the pickle out and drinking the water if you need to, because that'll help. But it just takes some time, and you just got to go slow. And the only thing I would say too is that that a good essential amino acid, I like these perfect optimal aminos. They seem to really help my gut microbiome heal pretty quickly. So I do like these optimal aminos for that. I don't know why, but they seem to really help my digestion. All right. Let's see. Question. Please explain. Do many people get diarrhea? I'm tired of this. Yes. Yes. A lot of people are tired of it. It definitely is one of the things that you go through. At first, there's really nothing you can do about it. If it lasts a long, long time, you can start to try to narrow it down why it's happening, because you might be eating too much rendered fat. You might be eating too much hot rendered fat. You might not be eliminating something that's disagreeing with you, or there might not be nothing wrong at all. You might need some amino acids for a short period of time to help. There's also, I forget what they're called, but it's like glycinate or whatever, all those different things. Some of them are for constipation, some of them for diarrhea that help your digestion.
There's a few parts to her question.
I need help. I have to
get an IV in the hospital for dehydration.
Oh, because she's got so much diarrhea. Okay. I've had this for 10 days now. I've been carnivore for 8 months, strict though. Ate a whole
pizza.
That was when this. Okay, so something made you super sick.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
She stopped all butter fats, and the steak and eggs is all she's eating now.
And she still has diarrhea. Man, it just sounds like you have some. I mean, how long has this been going on? How long? How long since you ate the pizza? Yeah. I'd really, Sherry, I don't know if you're in the steak and butter gang, but if there's a few Sherrys in there, I don't remember if you're one of them. But if you are, come and see us in the open chat, and specifically put in the general or put in the challenge chat on the message board if you're in there, your question, and we'll get it to Dr. Phil, because I'd be interested in seeing what he has to say about that too. But man, it sounds like you got a flu bug or something really made you sick out of that pizza.
Food poisoning or something from pizza.
Yeah,
Plus, after being carnivore for how long did she say she was? 8 months? And
yeah.
then going to have a pizza, your digestion system ain't going to be set up to eat that pizza.
Well, I mean, well, honestly, what it is you heal up a lot more in your body. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going through this. Yeah, I was just reading some messages. I got you. Well, no worries, but that's pretty difficult. And I think you probably I think there's something medical going on there, and there's something going on with your gut microbiome, and you might have even gotten sick off that pizza and ate something real bad. So be real careful with that. Is that you know you did learn a big lesson though. Why you're gonna want to stay carnivore for sure. But yeah, I hope it gets better for sure. That's a difficult one. All right. Todd, you're a G. Thank you. Michael, you too. Thanks so much for what you do. I never needed to lose weight, extreme stomach problems, and mental health issues. Almost complete. That's awesome, Dennis. Man, I'd love to know more about that. I'm really glad that you're getting some relief about that, though. That's incredible. Really good job. Great job. All right. Liz, brisket in the oven is wonderful. Wrap it in foil and bake it an hour and a half, 275. Amazing. Well, that's killer. There you go. That's why these communities rock. Most spices have additives to keep them from growing mold. Very true. That's why I like, my personal belief is that the carnivore is an animal based elimination diet, and you should do it as strict as possible, like getting all the way down to lion if you can. Hold that for at least 90 days, if not like 180 days, and then you can start, or until you're healed, and then start adding things back in one at a time. But when it comes to spices, I stick to like single ingredient organic freeze dried one ingredient spices that are just like freeze dried oregano. That's it. And you just do that and you see, and there's nothing else in it, nothing that says other natural flavors where they're poison and all that stuff. And you try them one at a time. And then I have no issue with this, because you try it once and then you give it 3 days and you try it again, give it 3 days to see what happens. And if you don't have any reactions to it, then you can have it. That's a condiment for you. But you have to be super diligent about what that is. Like, just because I tried freeze dried oregano doesn't mean that I'm good to go with all different brands of freeze dried oregano or not freeze dried oregano or all the different stuff, because there's so much crap in it. Like, you pretty much have to go, all right, I like this one. I'm buying like 4 cases of this and I'm using it for the next 10 years, or whatever. So that's what I find that works really well for me. But don't ever take anything for granted, because big food looks for any place that they can tuck in some stupid addictive additive crap.
Fillers and shit. Yeah.
So annoying. There was a typo in bone marrow butter just whipped bone marrow. You can do bone marrow. Like, I like bone marrow right out of the femur. Like, if you take and you flame roast bone marrow and then you just scoop it out with a spoon and put it right on top of your steak and have it with a piece of steak, that's fantastic. But I've never done it before. What Brett does is he whips it with butter, and I guess it's just like your tongue will beat your brains out trying to eat that up. I guess it's pretty amazing. Always tell the server at any restaurant that you are allergic to vegetable seed oils. They do take allergies seriously. That's a very good tip. Thank you, John. All right. If there are any processed ingredients in my food, I get itchy. Not sure what some places put in their spices. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It gets so ridiculous. I mean, that's honestly why I even started grinding up my own meat with, the brisket and making brisket and chuck burgers, is because, the hamburger you get at stores processed too. And at the very least, it's full of water. And I wonder what's in their water sometimes, which I like. Look, I'm not saying don't eat hamburger at all. Don't get me wrong. I didn't say that. And you're way better off of eating hamburger than anything, anything on this standard American diet. But sometimes it's fun to see what happens. I love when I get a piece of meat and it's just a muscle. Right?
Right.
It's
You
just
know exactly what you're dealing with, right?
yeah, I'm like, okay, they couldn't have screwed with this too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're gonna be talking about that later too on the rest. Coming in very late. Thank you for sharing. Baked eggs and hamburgers, 4 weeks, carnivore, kind of bored with hamburger. Couldn't eat much of it this evening. My only meal. Yeah, palate fatigue, getting bored for sure.
Fast for a day or two.
Fast, that'll pull you out of that. But also, if another thing that happens is that carnivore is very satiating, and if you do the same thing over and over and it's not a hyperpalatable thing and you're coming off of a hyperpalatable way of eating that you've been kind of stuck to for a long time, you can just sit there and you undereat a little bit more because it's not really tasty. It's not what you want. You find yourself undereating going downhill.
Yeah.
Then your metabolism starts to drop and then you just don't want anything.
Energy,
you're kind of in this funk.
drops and yep.
Yeah. So you might also need to eat your way out of that and go, go do something, go make, go do something, like go make, like sometimes one of the things that I used to do is I'd make bacon mayo and I'd make boiled eggs and then I would chop up bacon and I would make a bacon mayo egg salad with bacon bits in it. And man, you could put a little
Sounds
bit
good.
of cheese in that.
Yep.
And I could eat that thing by the bucket. I could eat that thing, by the Tupperware container of that stuff. And you just got to do a few things to get some high fat in you. Put some salt, the salty bacon, the bacon mayo, I'd throw, either that or I'd make like some bacon mayo, pickled eggs with a little bit of vinegar in them, and you could eat a bunch of that too. That salty, hyper palatable. Throw a little cheese on there, kind of thing. Really opens up your appetite when you're in a funk. So definitely use dairy on those times. If you're in a funk to get your appetite back. If you can, not if you can't, not if you can't tolerate dairy though. But I'm just saying, if it's one of those things you keep out because you don't regulate it well, or whatever, maybe eat a little bit too much of it. But yeah, you don't want it if you're intolerant of it though. Okay. Hi Todd, I'd really appreciate some tips on sticking to a 48-hour fast. I start tomorrow. Need to get her done to see if it helps my IBS. All right. So here's the thing. The trick to sticking to a 48-hour fast is priming first. If you are trying to fast and you're malnourished, your body's going to fight you on it. You're going to white knuckle it, and there's really no good that's going to come of it. Your body's going to be pretty stressed out. It's not going to be as healing as you think that it's going to be, and you're going to stress out over it. And because you said, see if it helps your IBS, I can't imagine being under that much stress is going to help you too. Now, I'm not a doctor, and I know IBS is really difficult to do, but man, I'm going to be a broken record here. Yeah, exactly. That's what she's saying. That little shit. I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but I'd love to see you in SBG because I would love to hear some tips from the people. I don't deal with IBS, but I'd love to deal with other tips that people have. So what they do to help you get nourished with IBS so that you can get free from that. But I know that fasting helps IBS, but I don't think that a 48-hour fast, I could be wrong, but I can't see that being a magic cure right away, especially not fasted or not primed doing that fast. So come see us in the SBG if you can. If not, come and visit us on our Friday night lives when Phil's there, and ask the community there on our Friday night lives when the whole team is there and Phil, and we can go over that too. So just a quick tip: as soon as you see our next Friday night live, go up on the up and coming videos, go post your question in so that it's one of the first questions, so that we can answer it right away too. So we'd love to help you. All right. Don't forget, most pizza places use seed oils in their pizzas. Yeah. All right. Good to see you, Thomas. Everybody go check out Target Prime Rib. He's got an awesome YouTube channel up and coming. So By the way, Todd gets nothing from any of us joining SBG, so don't think he's trying to sell it to you. SBG is truly one of the best communities, so you can join this for lifestyle. Yeah, exactly. Thanks so much, Brett. Yes. Yeah, it's truly just even if I wasn't doing any of this YouTube stuff, I'd be at SBG because it helps so much. I see so much healing go on there. And also for you guys, you know, some of these things are really difficult, and they're really you know, they take some special, you know, attention. They just do. Like I've been blessed enough that SBG, the community priming and just staying the course has been enough. But I've always said, I used to think that it was a rough thing that I was so big. You know, I used to think, oh man, my health is so bad. But now I've actually come to appreciate the fact that I think being fat actually saves you from a lot of damage that can be done. Because I see other people that don't have that protective fat that seems to really protect them from some things, and then they end up with serious autoimmune issues, serious gut issues. Like they take it hard in other ways, you know, and they have harder things to fight. You know, I've been blessed to only have to lose the weight. So with that in mind, I know that it takes some special attention, and so definitely feel free to email me or SBG, but you can email me because I don't remember the SBG email, but you can email me at thecarnivorecure@gmail.com, and they have one-on-one coaching too. And so we can hook you up with a coach. And I get asked all the time if I do private coaching, and I am not a coach. I would take that very serious, and I would want to make sure that I had all my information as good as it could be. And I tell you things that I believe from my own experience, and but I'm not a coach. It's not something that I've been trained in or that I do, so I do not coach people. However, if it is something I would that you guys want some coaching, then I would be happy to set you up with a coach that I trust, you know, the coaches at SBG that I trust. And I'd be even happy to sit in on the coaching if you had any personal questions for me. So definitely shoot me an email if that's something you need to. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Costco unsalted butter has natural flavors on the ingredients list. Why? Right. I know, because they gotta tell they have to declare poison on their label, but they don't want to call it poison. That's why.
Right. All the loopholes they got.
For sure. It amazes how many toxic ingredients there are in the food. Even most unsalted butters have natural flavors. Yep, I know. So ridiculous. Papa Carnivore. I bought these leg quarters on sale for 79 cents a pound. That's awesome. They were giving them away, so I had to buy them. Bought like 5 pounds. That's incredible.
Shoot.
Man, I got to find some of those deals so I can get them for Cosette. She's eating me out of house and home. The dog better get a job here pretty soon.
Yeah, you really don't want her to start eating chicken again, do you?
Oh, those were chicken? I thought
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what they were, but that's awesome. No, I wouldn't feed her chicken. Papa, don't eat that chicken. I didn't know that was chicken, or I wouldn't have said good deal. That chicken gives my dog seizures. Bad. Oh, I shouldn't. People have been like, chicken now? There's a whole thing. Watch Super Size Me too. The chicken's Franken chicken. I'm sorry to tell you, but it gives dogs seizures. It's gross. Hamburger is about all I can afford. Yeah, it's true, but you know what you can do is you can go out and get you a fairly cheap meat grinder, something like those ELM ones or whatever. I think it's the ELM number 8 575 watt meat grinder. You can find them at Walmart sometimes in the hunting section on sale for like $75. And I know that's not like free or anything, but considering that it'll easily save you $1 a pound per meat. You know, here's the thing is that when you buy ground meat in the store, they grind it up, they put it together slightly packed, but they don't push it down much. And then they run it through water and then flash freeze it so that it soaks up a bunch of water and you're paying for a bunch of water. That's why when you get the cheaper ground beef and you cook it, it shrinks up so much because they soak it in water so that they can sell you a bunch of empty water weight. before you get it. And it's usually, I don't know where it's in your area, but let's say it's $5.50 a pound where I'm at, right? Well, I can get a brisket for $1 a pound less, but it also,
you know what you're getting. Yeah.
you know what you're getting, and it's not full of water, so it doesn't cook down as much. So it's really like $1.50 a pound less. And it tastes so much better, and you know what's in it, and it's so much fresher, and you just have to grind it up yourself, which is really not hard. It takes like an hour to make 20 pounds of, ground beef. And then you can do some fun things with that too, because you can take and grind some bacon up in with the burger meat. And you can you can control how much fat's in there. You can add a little bit of bacon for a little bit of flavor, and you can add your chuck roast in there for a little bit of flavor. Anyhow, you can start playing with it and making your own beef. And it ends up being like $1.50 a pound cheaper, which means that if you make 60 pounds of hamburger, you paid for that grinder. And it's not hard to make 60 pounds of hamburger. I mean, that's 20 minutes of grinding over a period of a month. In 20 minutes, you can make 60 pounds of hamburger in a month. And then it's all savings from there, and way fresher, way tastier, way more palatable. And you can trust it, Tips for fasting: keep busy with work, chores, and errands. Also, go to bed early. Those are all good things for sure. My favorite tip on fasting is start a fast at 11 a.m.
Yep.
So eat your last meal at 11 a.m., get it down, stop eating right there at 11. And then most of us are pretty good at already going like 12 hours before we eat again anyways, or get real hungry. So go 12 hours or 10 hours or whatever it is. And then you go to bed and you sleep through the worst part of the hunger. Usually when you wake up, you're usually in a pretty ketogenic, in ketosis, right? And so you're running off of ketones, and you're usually work through most of the worst of it, and then it kind of cuts it down. So that helps for sure for Brett. Let's see. Dr. Barry has said for IBS, it can take 2 to 3 years to heal, in for the long haul, for sure. For sure. Todd, you need a small salary for what you do. My salary is hanging out with you guys. You guys keep me so motivated, and I love seeing all the healing. And Bella and the team are so gracious over there and so awesome. We're working at all sorts of things. They bring us in on all sorts of things. I mean, Bella's bringing in all these. It's certainly not me that's bringing in names like Chafee and Baker and all those guys into Montana. I mean, Bella and Max and the SBG gang have just the biggest hearts, and they're amazing people, and they are helping us out all over, and they want to see my channel succeed. They're giving me so much information. I will never take a penny from that place. And I don't, I'm there because of the results I got and what I realized the value was there. And I really believe you guys will see the value when you go there too. It's pretty incredible what you get for $30 a month. What people don't understand is they think that SBG is like a chat group where you go there and you write some stuff down, and it's going to be like an app, and it's going to give you a program. That's not at all what it is. When you go to SBG, they have 5 2-hour Zoom calls that you come on live on video and audio. You can keep your camera on or shut it off, your audio on, whatever. But you get to talk to the group, and I'm in there on the weekends for sure. And you can talk to us live. So just like you're watching us now, you can ask us questions, and you can go through the exact things you're going through one-on-one. And not only will I answer you, but this group that has over 13,000 members has all these people in it that have done it anywhere from there on day one to people that have been doing it for 15 years, and everywhere in between. And you get all this crowdsourced data from all these people that have done it and broke the trail in front of you. And then also what you get is you get to be in a community that broke through the propaganda that says that you're going to have a heart attack, that you're going to have high cholesterol and plugged arteries, that you're going to get colon cancer from eating red meat, that all this stuff is bad for you, and you're going to get malnourished. You're going to get scurvy. You're not going to have the nutrients that you need. You're going to have all these terrible side effects. All the fear mongering that happens Well, when you're around, in a call with 50 other people in it that have been doing it forever, and they're all now laughing about it because it was such a lie, and you're in a community with hundreds of people that are just healing chronic diseases and having the most amazing
Right.
turnarounds in their health.
Especially with the NSVs when everybody's telling their story now.
Yeah.
What great accomplishments they had just that week. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then once you see that, it calms your nerves and you're like, oh,
You're doing
yeah,
the right thing.
because you're listening and learning from a community of people that are all just there because they had to save their own health because everything around them had failed them. They had to find an answer. So there's no bias there. Nobody's selling you anything there. Yes, it costs $30 to be in the community because we have a whole, there's a whole app and program and people. Because in addition to that, they have priming calls, they have fasting calls, they have sugar addiction calls, which are all on Zoom, by the way. And then they have the doctors come in, and like Sean Baker comes in and talks once a month, or even might even be twice a month.
This week, there's seven events scheduled for shows.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's live where you can actually ask Sean Baker a question. You can ask Anthony Chafee question. Most of the times you have to get in. I mean, he doesn't get to all the questions because there's so many people. But if you know how the system works and you go and post your question ahead of the event and you write it down first, then you'll get your question asked. But also, you're going to find that most of the questions are like maybe 100 people ask questions, maybe only 20 people ask questions, but they're going to be a duplicate. Maybe they're basically 8 people asking the same question because you're going through the same thing, because these things you'll start to see the pattern recognition in it, which is also a huge benefit to find the pattern recognition, because that's where you start finding truth and meaning and real answers. And that's where the bullshit melts away, because there's no pattern recognition in bullshit other than then the only pattern of bullshit is that bullshit is generally propaganda and the sources that it's coming from. But other than that, there's no organic pattern recognition in bullshit. So, but there is in truth and meaning when it rises to the top, and you'll start seeing that. And so it's just awesome to see. You get access. I mean, Dr. Baker comes in, Anthony Chafee comes in, Sean Baker comes in,
Hampton.
Dr. Hampton, Rebecca Heichman, and all these people. I think Nick Norwicks or whatever, I believe, is coming in this week or this month. And so anyhow, all sorts of fun stuff. Plus Bella's in there. Coach Raymond's in there. I'm in there. Lindy's in there. Coach Rochelle's in there. Alyssa, you see in the chats all the time's in there. So many people. There's a bunch of up and coming coaches that can help you. It's just,
and then if you can't make the live show, there's the replays.
There were playbacks, and there also is chat forums and chat boards and recipe boards and all this stuff. Like, it's flat ridiculous. And then people go, well, I can't believe it's $30 a month. It's less than the soda a day that you're drinking that's killing you. If you come in and just get free from soda, you'll pay for it. Right. And you have to understand that getting all this stuff to happen with so much value costs money. Like there's no way to have this, these many Zoom accounts and this many, the Mighty Network and all the stuff that it takes, and not have to cover the cost. So anyhow, that was my little thing. But I it's because I didn't understand that people don't realize that what's really in there. And the first thing that happens when people get in there, they're like, oh, I didn't realize this is what this was actually like. This is a crazy value, So I am 15, 6 foot, 180 pounds. Do you think 1,200 calorie cut for 3 months is too much? Whoa. Why are you cutting calories? What are you trying to do? Calories are stupid. First of all, just so you know, calories are bullcrap. Like, let's talk about that. What are you trying to do? And at 15, why are you like, what? So many questions. What calories are you cutting? Why are you cutting them? What is your objective here?
Right.
I'd love to know that. Like, let's start there. Are you HC?
6 foot at 180?
Yeah. And he's cutting 12. But yeah, but he said he's cutting,
I know,
for 3 months is like, I don't know if you're cutting 1,200 calories out of your diet or if you're cutting down to 1,200 calories. If you're cutting down to 1,200 calories, yes, that's way too much. Like, by far, you need let's Let's talk about that one. That's yeah. We need way more information on that. What meat grinder do you have, Todd? I have the what is it called? The ELM number 8. It's you can like online. It usually goes for $125, but you can find it at Targets and Walmarts and all that stuff. If you look on the app, and they're like $80 usually when you find them. They're usually in the sporting section, like the camping, hunting, fishing, sporting goods section, and like Walmart and stuff. And they're perfectly fine. They only do like 3 pounds of meat a minute, but when you think about that, that's a whole lot of meat a minute. You know, the big ones will do like 25 pounds of meat a minute. Well, like, good Lord, I'm not trying to make a cow and a burger in my kitchen table, you know, like the 3 pounds a minute is just fine. There's 575 watts and they do just fine, but I think it's an ELM number 8, 575 watt. I think is what it is. All right. I'm fasting and my husband is baking pizza. Isn't that so nice? I feel for you. I know some of these guys are so mean that when their friends are fasting, they take pictures of food and send it to them to torture.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if it sounds really familiar.
I don't know. Michael can't relate to that at all. One of my favorite hobbies on the side is to wait till Michael's fasting, and then I purposely wake up and go, I'm going to make the most delicious looking steak today. It's going to be extra thick with extra sear on it and butter dripping off the sides, wrapped in bacon.
Then my phone goes off and I get like 10 pictures of it from all different angles, perfect lighting, the juice just rolling down the sides. And then after the pictures all come in and he knows I've seen them, then he'll ask me, are you still fasting?
He's got it coming.
Now, if I could smell it, it would be a different story. Seeing it in a picture, I can handle that.
For sure. I'm fasting. If I go to bed hungry, I wake up either in the middle of the night or in the middle of the night. Wait a minute. What did I just say? I wake up. If I go to bed hungry, I wake up either in the middle of the night or in the middle of the night or in the morning with dry heaves. Oh, okay. The dry heaves are a bummer. How do I prevent that? Well, the dry heaves, you're going to want some water, right? You shouldn't be doing a dry fast. And so you're going to want to substitute with a little bit of water. And as far as waking up hungry, well, first of all, let's back up. If you're waking up hungry, like if it's waking you out of a sleep, you're not ready to fast and you should not be fasting.
That's white knuckling. Huh?
Yeah, you're white knuckling a fast. If you're so hungry that your body is prioritizing food over sleep when you're falling asleep and it's waking you up, I mean, think about what that means. Your body's telling me you are really undernourished. And were you the one with the IBS? I can't remember. I think you were, but I can't remember.
I don't remember.
But like this is why please join SBG for 1 month and come talk to us so that we can show you what nourish fasting is about and why. Like, this is a way bigger conversation we can have here, but I'm telling you, if you're waking up dry heaving and your hunger is waking you up in the night, you're not ready to fast and you shouldn't be fasting. This isn't going to help you. If your body's response to fasting is to dry heave and wake you up out of a dead sleep and keep you from having REM sleep, then there's no benefit coming from that fast whatsoever. Like this can't be good. I don't see how that could possibly be good. Like you gotta come let us talk to you. Email me. Let us talk to you about fasting, because that you're like, you shouldn't be fasting like that.
And she's been like that since young.
Well, I don't even want to know why you're trying to fast when you're young. That sounds like a whole nother issue too. I don't know. Please email me and let's try to get this set up in SBG so that you can get this worked out, because what you're doing raises a lot of red flags for me. All right. I have my godfather's old sausage grinder, but I have to find some way to really clean it and get all the tarnish off it. Watch some. There's a bunch of videos on that, but usually I'm thinking I don't know how much crap is in there. I'm guessing you're talking about an old hand grinder, and that would work.
Probably.
But yeah, watch it. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Do you ever see where they do like the battery and the electrolysis where they put it down into the water and then they use the battery to put electricity into the water, and then that releases all the rust and stuff, if that's what you're talking about, or if it's just gunk, then yeah, you probably just soak it or something. But if it's like rust and oxidization, there's some ways to get that off of there. But I mean, also new ones are not too pricey at all. Let's see. I hope RFK does something about the natural flavors issue. They shouldn't be allowed to hide ingredients like that. For sure. There's all sorts of games, and I think he is going to get to the bottom of that for sure. SPG costs about 4 Starbucks drinks per month. It's a fact. 100%. I would agree that SPG Group is very beneficial and is really well set up. Thank you so much, Sarah. It is. And I really like people to see it so they can understand why it's important. Hey, Todd, Mike. Hi, Susan. So nice to see you.
Hi, Susan.
All right. John, Big Man Alaska. Everybody go follow John at Big Man Alaska. He's looking fantastic. John, every time I see you
smaller and smaller, man.
Yeah, I'm like, John is not John anymore. John's not Big John anymore. John's like fit lean John now. That's awesome. Been busy adjusting the family pantry and removing the HFCS and other junk from the house. That's awesome. Appreciate you coming in, John. Yeah, good work on getting rid of all the junk too, for sure. Let's see. Seems you're good at a good weight, 180 pounds, 6 foot. Bet wishes to you. Absolutely. Like, yeah, I don't know. There's nothing to cut there, my friend. You anything, eat up and stack it on. You're at a great spot to just start getting, getting ripped. Yep. Yeah. Let's see. I've done that since I was about 10 years old. I have joined SBG and no IBS. Okay, perfect. Come chat with us in the open chat. So go check the events, look for the open chat, and come talk to us in the open chat, please. We'd love to talk to you about this. $261-ish from $435. John, that is awesome. You are killing it, my friend. Great work. Everybody, you really should go check out Big Man Alaska. His results are incredible. Awesome channel. Good dude. Been stuck watching a lecture, so miss most of this live. No worries. It's going to be on playback, so you can come check it out there. And then we appreciate you hanging out with us and visiting with us. But what lecture were you watching? It must have been a good one. I'm sure you got a lot out of it. This is second time through priming. That's awesome. That's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I primed for, 6.5 months. So, I mean, I went through several times myself. Let's see. Question, if only have an older Android, no laptop or tablet, do you think I can do Zoom calls?
You should be able to run the Zoom app on an Android phone. No problem.
Yeah, I would think so, for sure. I don't know. Yeah, I would think so, for sure. Definitely give it a try. I've been providing my feedback on sardine companies to leave the bone in. That's a good idea, for sure. I kind of like that little, like back in the day when the sardines used to have those little round discs that kind of popped when you chew on them. I really liked them. That was my favorite part when Mom would make salmon patties too. Back in the day, the little spine bone in the canned salmon. When you get it in a salmon patty, you bite that little thing and it would pop when you bit it. I used to love those. Big Man Alaska isn't big anymore. He's becoming Thin Man Alaska. 100% Papa. That's a fact. Let's see. First day of semester 2 of graduate diploma in teaching. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, great work. I love that you're bringing carnivore to the college. So that's awesome. Target Prime Rib. I just scheduled another interview. Life is so amazing. That's awesome, Thomas. Great work, man. I love seeing you get your story out there. It's incredible. Everybody go check out Target Prime Rib and check out his channel. He's just getting going on YouTube, but he's doing awesome. So Pop Carnivore, I just ordered a case of King Oscar sardines, 12 cans on Amazon. Awesome. Pop Carnivore, have you ever tried the cod livers, the canned cod livers? So once you get used to the texture, the flavor is actually better, and I get a pretty good. I just get a lot of energy out of the omega-3s and the cod livers in cod liver oil on Amazon. They're pretty amazing. Let's see. Big Man Alaska. Zoom and StreamYard run fine on Android as long as you have a good internet speed.
Yep.
That's awesome. All right. Oh, did I get through all the comments?
Yeah, I think we're all caught up.
Oh boy, you guys better say something quick or I'm going to have to start talking off topic. Then this is going to get really ugly. Let's see. Pop says, let's see. No, Todd, haven't tried cod livers. Why is the best brand to buy? Let me look at it. It's the ones in the yellow and blue can. I always forget the name of them. Hold on. They're the ones I like anyways. They're a little, like the texture thing is what throws you off. You're like, these ones. I'll send this to Michael and then he can pop it up.
Yep.
Here you go, Michael. Okay. This is the ones that I get and I like them. And it's a texture thing. But once I think they taste better and I feel better. It's just that the cod livers taste like liverwurst. Like they're super mushy. There's no texture to them. Oh, appreciate it, Thomas. All right. Always have a stack of cod liver cans in my pantry. Absolutely. I got a bunch out there too. Let's see. Yeah, when they take the bone out, the calcium goes down significantly. I want the calcium, absolutely. Yep, those are the ones for sure. So those, I forget, does it say what brand those are?
3-line isolanic natural cod liver.
There we go. Yeah, those are the ones I like. Let's see. I used oil from cod liver cans to make deviled eggs. Oh, I bet that works nicely. That's cool. Let's see, 6 months. Oh, wow. Congratulations. 6 months down, 70 pounds. Off acid reflux medication, no more joint pain.
Awesome.
Thank you for your encouragement. Yeah, that's killer, man. That's awesome.
Nice job, Brian.
Great job. Can of cod liver is what I have. Cod liver is what I have. It's important to only eat a couple of cans a week to avoid vitamin A and D overdose. Huh. I don't know. I've eaten. I eat generally when I don't so much anymore because I kind of got satiated with them. But for the first 6 months, I ate a can every day. That's very interesting. Question, Todd, when is the drawing for your hat? I'm going to have to get one. I could almost give away the black one, though, because the black one doesn't fit anymore because my head got all unfatted. So no, that's why I haven't put it back on. You know, I wore this all summer and then I kept putting the other one back on and it rattles around. It makes me look like I'm wearing a bucket on my head now. So,
you got a screw loose, huh?
Yeah, well, accurate, but yes, it's I got to go get a new, which is kind of sad. I mean, kind of great, but it's kind of sad in a way because I've had that resistance all forever and now it's goner. because I don't think I can put it back on. I keep looking at it and I was like, man, is this? And it's like, maybe I can grow some hair. I don't know. try to make it fit, but yeah, that's a bummer. That one's a big one. I think that one was 7 7/8. So my biggest hat that I ever wore was that I used to have to order them in. They were 8s, and then but I would often get a 7 7/8 and stretch it, and that's what I did with that one. And yeah, now it's more like this one's a 7.5, and it's a little bit loosey goosey. And so I think I'm getting down below 7.5, which is pretty crazy for my giant bean.
Noggin, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. What is this? And Todd, how is JR doing in Dallas? Very funny, sir. Very funny. Let's see. I do think I'm going to end up going back to Austin because Teddy Swims is playing there, and I think I'm going to go actually see that. So I might see you. I might end up back in Texas and check out Teddy Swims. I've been looking at the places that he's playing, and I'm like, well, at least I've already been to the Austin airport, and I know how to kind of get around.
You know how the roads work, right?
Yeah. You close one eye, you put a blinker on, count to 3, and then merge, no matter what. People said I didn't have a foolproof system, but I made it. That's funny. Todd, people can pay for their SBG membership by what they save on toilet tissue for going carnivore. That's a real thing. Like
it is
100%. Like I think about all the ways. I mean, obviously it's a no-brainer for anybody that goes there and gets any kind of results. You're going to get that paid back tenfold to, 1,000-fold, quite honestly. Because I mean, carnivore got me off of $450 a month in medications. Carnivore keeps me from having to go get Z-packs and stuff at the urgent care.
How much money you save just from your DoorDash and your Grubhub and all that?
DoorDash, Uber. Grubhub, snacks,
Uber Eats,
desserts, Uber Eats, Pepto-Bismol, Tums, Rolaids, aspirin, Advil, yeah, like Charlie said, toilet paper, all that stuff. Even I have way less garbage because I'm not eating all this crap and filling up bags and bags of garbage. I probably pay for half of my monthly bill SPG costs by just not having to buy as many garbage sacks to pile up all the massive amount of carb garbage crap that I was using. I mean, it's really is crazy. Question: starting the priming this week, trying Dr. Davis yogurt protocol to heal gut issues. Is it going to be a problem with priming? No, not at all. In fact, it's probably even good. The yogurt, I don't know what the protocol is, but if you're saying like it's going to be a problem if he's telling you not to eat anything but yogurt. Also, so the yogurt itself is not going to be a problem with priming. However, you might have a little bit of an issue with priming if your gut is giving you problems, but you should try it anyways and do the best you can, because the priming actually might be the thing that helps your gut. It just means you might have to redo it once your gut heals itself, but no matter what, it's going to be good for your gut. And I don't think that the yogurt's not going to hurt it at all. I don't know what else is in that prime or what else is in that protocol, but as long as that yogurt is not got sugar and junk in it, it's not going to hurt you. I would try to get a plain like raw yogurt, but I don't think it's gonna, as long as you have a good yogurt, it's not going to hurt you. All right. You can try cutting a piece of batting to fit inside your hat. I could try to do that for sure. And I might, because that's an old hat. I have to think how old that hat is. That's pretty old. 6 months is very early in the journey. I'm starting my 6th year and didn't see any health improvements until year 4. That's awesome. Man, Catherine, I would love to talk to you about that too, because I would like to know your progression. So email me if you don't mind sometime. I'd love to hear your 6-year story, because that's very true. But what we're finding is, and this is why we're making this a point is a lot of carnivores at first, and a lot of the old carnivore information coming into this was restrictive carnivore, even, and what we're finding is nourished carnivore is making is like expediting the healing process, basically putting healing over size at first, seems to be having some awesome results. Any thoughts on taking berberine? You do whatever helps you. Basically I look at all supplements as expediting, being helpful to to a process. I don't think there's anything hugely wrong with it. If I'm not mistaken, because berberine, am I mistaken, or is berberine a amino acid? Let me look. I better make sure before. I better not. No, it's not. Okay. No, it's not. It's a plant-based alkaloid, meaning it's a natural occurring organic compound found in certain plants specifically from. Okay, I mean, probably not anything terrible, but I would actually, if it's a plant-based something or other, I would wonder why you're taking it, and I would, and if you can, I'd want to see what you felt like for 90 days without it. I was thinking that was an amino acid, but no, I would, I don't know. I'm not the expert to ask on that. For me personally, I wanted to take all the plant-based anything out and just go pure animal products, including the spices and stuff, for 90 days to maybe even 180 days, and then put them back in one at a time. That's the best information I can give you on that. So I'm glad I checked because I thought that was amino acid. But I was like, I don't think that is actually. Let's see. I'd hang them up behind you. Be cool to see how many sizes you go down. Oh, that's true. Maybe I will do that. I hope it's, yeah. I don't know how much smaller your head can get, but I don't know. I don't know how much can come off there, but yeah, that's a good idea. I definitely will. I definitely have a few of them now. One of them, I lost enough weight early on that I glued antlers to it and spray painted it red for my Christmas hat.
And sprinkle glitter on it.
I did. Don't ever do that. You just don't ever fall into the glitter trap. That stuff is a weapon of mass destruction. Let's see. I went to town with my neighbor. My car is at the car doctor. We met up with another friend, and I had a chance to talk to them both about the healing effects of carnivore. That's awesome. That's awesome. I hope they took it well. And I mean, if they continue to give you a ride, that's good news. Right? They didn't say, get out here, please. Let's see. SBG is worth its weight in gold, and everyone is a godsend. I believe that too, Thomas, including you. I appreciate it so much. Cranky John, the inside sweatband on my Pendleton folds down once. It's not sewn on the top. Oh, I got you. And I cut the strip of silicone. I bet that would work really good. Yeah, mine folds down too, John. And so, yeah, I might actually try that for sure. That might actually just work. All right, let's see. Hard-headed Ben Bickman recently did a video where he covered berberine. Oh, nice. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, because I don't even know what we use it for exactly. Question, Todd. I was thinking of cooking some pelican any special way I should proceed. I'll have to ask my dog. I give all the pelican to Cozad. Pellicle. I get it. I said it wrong. I'm never living that one down ever. That's why we put these things on video. Ruin me for life. I've lost 100 pounds so far. Wow, congratulations,
Awesome.
man. But I've been on a plateau for quite some time. I have a feeling I'm not eating enough fat and or meat. I would think that you're right for sure. And also, sometimes your body just needs to rest. Like your body's not as excited as you are about losing fat. It's very careful about it, and that's why it needs to know that you are not in a famine state, that there's good nutrients available to you, and also you need to be in a very calm, happy, graceful, safe type of situation where your body starts letting go of that stuff again, which is kind of like a catch-22, because that rule number one on that is throw away the scale and stop worrying about not losing weight.
Right.
Because if you start worrying about losing weight, it makes it harder to lose weight. It's kind of funny. But definitely, I would love to see you in SBG if you're not already there, so you can kind of see the culture of people that they're, because we're all like that. We all definitely come from that place where when we hit that stall, it messes with our head, but it's really good to be around people that have been doing it for 2 years, 3 years, went through many plateaus and seen the other side, and help get their help to go through it. So come and check us out. All right. Let's see. There we go. Strip of foam insulation and line your black hat with it. I should. I'm gonna need it. Some fake Todd weight back on. Todd, can I get your email address again? I'd like to explain my comments. Oh, you already said that.
I dropped it in there. Yeah.
All right, Michael's on top of it. Let's see. My head shrunk so much so quickly. Apparently, that's why I can hear and see better. No more inflammation. 100%, man. That is way better. 100%, John. You're right, Todd. The aromatic amino acid, thyrosin, and that's a big word, are precursors to the biosynthesis of the berberine. Okay. Berberine is an alkaloid that comes from taurosin. Okay. All right. So it does come from, okay. I thought so, because I thought I'd seen that on different amino acid bottles, but okay. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Anna. I'm not as crazy as I thought I was, but still check all my work, please. Berberine has been shown to alleviate type 2 diabetic symptoms by reducing aromatic amino acids. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Well, then if it's an amino acid, yeah, I say go for it. I've been in SB. Oh, okay. I've been in SBG, but lost my job a month or so back and had to cut out the payments, but I may get back into it if I can fit into it in the budget. Okay. Well, I appreciate that, but well, yeah. And in the meantime, keep coming to these and also email me and we'll see if there's anything we can do, but I appreciate that so much. Okay. Question part 1. I haven't been sleeping with my CPAP for months, but my wife says I still snore occasionally. I'd like to get another sleep study, but I wake up with no sluggishness and plenty of energy. Snoring is a rough sign. And just doesn't your CPAP tell you how many sleep interruptions you have, how many times you wake up in the night? Do you use a CPAP? And if not, how did you know that you didn't need it anymore? How I knew that I needed it anymore was because mine had a incident of, like whatever they call that. It tells you how many times you wake up in the night because it records it, because it's got that static pressure deal. And it was going from like, I don't know, it was like 60 times a minute or something. And it was down to like 30 times, and then got down to like 16 times. And then it was down to like 1 or 2. And then it was down to just like 1. And what I found out was I was taking my CPAP off my face at night. I was sleeping and pulling it off. And so when I knew it was time to go was that I would start with it on, because I actually got to where I liked my CPAP, because the noise, the white noise, and the distraction calmed my crackhead ADD brain,
Right.
and and that white noise and that distraction. Because like when I would put the CPAP on, I couldn't wear my glasses, which meant I couldn't look at my phone. And then the white noise and the little bit of an irritant was actually the perfect amount of distraction that put me to sleep. And so that was my routine. And so I liked it and I kept putting it on. But then I would wake up at night and I had ripped it off my head in the night. So I was like, well, clearly something's off now. At the very least, this isn't calibrated right. And so that's when I stopped wearing it.
That's when I stopped wearing mine too. When I wake up and I would rip it off. So
yeah,
I don't need it
for sure. All right, let's see here. I'm still losing 0.04 pounds a day, even after 89 days. Let's go down 39 pounds. Awesome. 1 to 1 fat to protein ratio in grams works best for me. 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight. Just getting stronger. That's awesome, Brad. You're killing it, man. That's awesome. Keep going. And I mean, those kind of results, and I mean, that'll pump you up every time. Just keep going. My sleep machine is old and doesn't work well. I gotcha. Well, yeah, I'd probably just go on for another sleep study then if you can. Or just keep using it until, I mean, I don't know if your sleep machine's old too. I don't know how you got it or if it's covered by insurance, but also if you paid for a sleep machine, CPAP, and you have it and you call your insurance company, they'll usually replace it for free if you tell them it's malfunctioning, and then they have to recalibrate it. So I would still use that because I mean, I think they'll do that because they kind of got to keep it going,
Then he says here, the follow up to it.
I love sleeping with my CPAP for the last 15 years. Kind of miss it. Right. I know what you mean. You get into that rhythm with it. And, I really think it's just about a ritual. I think we get into rituals that put us to sleep. And some rituals are terrible, like looking at your phone and reading troll comments that make your blood pressure go up. And then you want to start cussing at people. And then that doesn't put you to sleep, and getting the blue light doesn't put you to sleep. But that's why I did like the CPAP, because it made you take off your glasses, which means you can't see your phone, and you put it on, and then into your head, you're just hearing, so you really can't hear your phone. So even if you want to listen to something, I would still put something on so that I could listen to, I usually Jordan Peterson is what I always had on, but then I would flip it upside down so I couldn't see the screen, because I couldn't look at it anyways. And then that was just like, that became my routine that would put me to sleep. And when I stopped doing that, it was harder to get to sleep for sure, because then I didn't have to take my glasses off. And then I was looking at my phone, because I am a addictive little crackhead when it comes to screens and stuff. And I would end up an hour after being in bed, I was more awake than I was before I went to bed, because I got too much stimulus from the phone and stuff. But so yeah, I feel you there. But I've been working on a new ritual, and so I got a Faraday bag that I put. I got a Faraday backpack that I started putting all my Wi-Fi devices in at night, and I think it actually does work. I think getting rid of that, especially, did you guys see that?
Or you can just turn your Wi-Fi off on your phone. That's what I do.
Yeah, they say that it still leaks though.
Wi-Fi, and turn the Wi-Fi and dead off, or put it in airport mode.
Yeah, they say that works too, but they say that even the cell signal and everything, the Wi-Fi, the cell signal, all that stuff still leaks, and it puts out bull crap.
Where you're at, you're okay. It's different, but around here in a major city, you're going to get Wi-Fi no matter where you go. So.
Oh yeah, because you guys are
bombarded.
Yeah, asses to elbows with people. Yeah, you'd need a Faraday backpack. You have to wrap yourself
sleeping bag that you can get into.
Exactly, or a sleeping bag. But did you hear that? It was, who said that? It's RFK when he was on Joe Rogan. RFK was showing how they tanked some studies on Wi-Fi signals and degrading and breaking down the blood-brain barrier to the brain. And that was really happening. And Joe Rogan's like, what? That can't be a thing. And then Jamie started pulling it up, and he was like, holy crap. And RFK was showing him that, that soon as they started getting the real data back, they scrapped that study and buried it.
I can pull up a video that shows plants don't grow with Wi-Fi signals. You plant the seeds and it doesn't grow. And then I can also show you how they use Wi-Fi signals as an X-ray to see inside your home and to tell how many people are inside the buildings.
Oh, nice. Well, I can show you how when we talk about Wi-Fi signals on YouTube that Todd gets demonetized almost immediately. That's okay. We don't care, but it's funny. But yeah, I believe it. Pretty crazy. Snoring is the first indication of sleep apnea, and I got off mine pretty quickly when my numbers dropped below 10 events, and I got a final sleep study. That's awesome, John. I'm trying to sell my CPAP, don't need it anymore, so bad Facebook Marketplace flags it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, they do, because they want you to have a prescription to get it, but it's funny because I bought one off the black web too, dark web or whatever, and then I found videos on how to program it myself.
Yeah. You can find anything you want.
You can, for sure. Big hello from Dave in Austin. Howdy, Dave. All right. I live in an apartment. There's Wi-Fi coming out of every direction. Yeah, that's a bummer.
Same.
That's not healthy. Huh. Let's see. Airplane mode turns off Wi-Fi and cellular emissions from the phone. Only a Faraday shielded room house will stop the signals from satellites and towers. Well, all right. I guess I have a new summer project. You can control the RF output from your own router. They are usually turned up and are around 500 megawatts with control the settings of the web page. For
Going
I got you.
To the admin settings. You can also program them to turn them off at night. It automatically shuts off.
I got you.
Turns back on in the morning.
So you're saying I don't have to put it in the microwave? Not carnivore related, but we need a Faraday sleeping bag. Yeah. Laughing out loud. Every watched the Why the Flies taking above the, I don't know what that is, Korzorev mirror or a mind controlled episode. It's interesting. All right. We are way off topic. But I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them. I don't know if any of that stuff exists, but what I'm certain of is that there are people trying to figure out if it does, and it's not for our own benefit. So I don't know what of all that exists, but I do know that if and when it does exist, or if it's possible, and if and when they figure it out, it would be a thing for sure. It would be. Well, that's awesome. I think we caught up to you guys. I don't know how we did that so quickly. We almost never catch up to our comments.
You guys are slacking.
I know. Amazon will be selling Wi-Fi proof tents to sleep inside your bedroom. I'll take one. Grounded tent and Faraday or whatever you can put over your bed and under your mattress. That might be a hit. Probably sleep a bunch better. Line it with red light therapy on the ceiling of it, so you could have it come up, and wake you up with the right frequency or whatever. That might be handy. We might have a $1 million idea. They're gonna call us tinfoil hat wearing nut jobs, but for sure. All right. There we go. Working on prime strip steak. Is lean, but very good. Absolutely. I love them. Have you guys tried that accordion cut deal that they do with like strip loin steaks are really good to do it because they're one big muscle. It's hard to do on a ribeye because they're multiple pieces of muscle. But on the strip loin steak, I did the accordion cut thing. It's where you cut like 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch slits, gaps of slits in the top of your steak, and then you do it at a 45 on the bottom, and then it kind of stretches out because it looks like a lattice fence or like a waffle fry or something. It kind of stretches out and you can see through it, but it ends up making so much more surface area. It makes it pretty tasty when you cook it. Carnivore brains working together. We're coming up with whole new systems. Michael's going to reintroduce or rebuild the wheel here pretty soon. Where's Lindy today? She is helping her daughter at work, and she was going to try to make it here, but then she had some stuff come up there and she got stuck there, but she will be on. Oh, I know what we should talk about. This isn't totally locked down yet, but it's pretty locked down. I believe that we are going to be doing a special episode of 700 plus and counting down next Thursday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. This coming Thursday, I should say, at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. With John from Obese to Beast is coming on, I think. So we pretty much got it locked down. We just have to finalize it, but that's the time we picked. And so yeah, it's gonna be fun. I've been watching John's content from Obese to Beast shoot for like 8 years, right? Because I really like him as a kid. Like our diets are definitely different, but he's such a nice young kid and good guy, and he's doing so fantastic that that we reached out to him, and he super nice guy, wants to come on and hang out with us and talk to you guys, and I want to talk to him and just chat. So anybody that doesn't know him, go check out Obese to Beast. Definitely he is no, he's not carnivore. He's part of like the Will Tenning, what is that guy's name? Will Tennington or Tyson or something, kind of the high volume, low calorie type of approach to losing weight. It's definitely a calorie restrictive approach, but he's lost like 100 and some pounds. He works out all the time. He's really fit. He's got a lot of skin, loose skin, because he lost like 100 or 200 pounds or something. But what I just like him because he's been on YouTube for like 8 years or something, and he's always just been a good dude. Like no matter what you think of his diet, no matter of our differences with our opinions and approaches to weight loss and whatever, he's just a good guy. You know, you can tell that he's in it to help people. He was on like the Ellen DeGeneres show, and I think when he first lost the weight, and I think she gave him a red Mustang, if I remember. But super nice guy. And yeah, so I'm excited to talk to him about it, and I think you guys will enjoy it. It'll be really fun. But go check him out. His channel is called Obese to Beast. All right. A guy in Canada who ran their largest communication company said that he does not allow Wi-Fi of any kind in his home. Nothing suspicious there. No, nothing to see there at all, huh, Julie? Question: thoughts on cooking with a sous vide? I love it. I have one. I use it. Yeah, I mean, they're amazing. You know, my favorite parts, I don't know, I guess the benefits of sous vide is, one, you can't screw it up. So like when you're first learning how to cook meat, it's the safest way to cook a perfect steak. Two, if you're busy, it's just so great to be able to go. This is the only time I agree with cooking from frozen to cooked is when you're sous videing it, because I could get up in the morning and I could literally just grab a steak in a vacuum seal bag out of the freezer, put it in the sous vide machine, turn it on, set the temperature, and walk away. And then when I come back at noon, or if I come back at supper, whenever I come back, that steak is going to be there. It doesn't matter if it's 4 hours later, 6 hours later, 12 hours later, a day later, that steak is going to be awesome. And so I love that. And then you can really start working it in several different ways. You can, like, I'll sous vide a 20-pound brisket for like 84 hours and then go and cold smoke it and then sear it off. And it's one of the best briskets I've ever had too. They're so much fun. Really good stuff. Let's see. Oh, I've watched him for years. Yeah, awesome. John's a super good guy. So come say hi. He's going to be doing a live Q&A with us. Charlie, I hope you all get as much blessings as you give your listeners. Thank you for your gracious gifts of your time. We must go. Good night. Thank you so much, Charlie, and say good night to Marilyn for us. Good night, guys. Appreciate you.
Bye, guys.
All right. Okay, question. Okay, go back to carnivore session. No worries. My wife has a mild aversion to beef, to the point that she has a hard time getting enough meat in her day. Yeah, for sure. What do you recommend to get around the meat aversion? So first I start playing with it to try to make it more hyperpalatable. So as soon as I don't like steak, I go to burger. As soon as I don't like burger, I go to steak. And if I'm back and forth between those things, then of course I try to go to bacon or whatever. And then if those things start breaking down, then I start playing around, and of course I'll go to like air fryer versus smoking it or whatever. But if I start getting real desperate, then I start taking my meat grinder out and um, I start grinding brisket and chuck together with bacon. So it'll be like 50, 60% brisket and 20 to 30% chuck or whatever, and like 20% bacon. And I grind it up and I make my own patties, and then I smoke them and I top them with pickled jalapenos. And I might even have some mustard on them or something, something like that if I'm really fighting it. And then as a last resort, I add in dairy. Like if I'm really just having an aversion and I don't feel like I can fast either, fasting's a good cure if you're nourished and you feel like you can fast and your body wants it. That's a really good way to make food taste good. But if the aversion sneaks up on you over time and you consistently overeat, you're not in a good spot to fast, but you really have lost your appetite for the meat. Then I do that with the burgers as a last. Oh, and then I'll also go to eggs and make like the bacon mayo and bacon egg salad. That's much more palatable. And then as a last resort, I'll take something like that and add a little bit of shredded cheese. I shred it myself. Don't get the packaged shredded cheese, but I'll add some shredded cheese to it. And I start adding dairy back in, maybe bringing in sour cream and a little bit of prepared horseradish and making a dip for my steak or something like that. And usually that'll break me out of it. One of those things. Also, one time I went through a deal where I had to make butter poached scallops and shrimp with bacon. I did that for a while when I went through that, and it was delicious, by the way. There's always something. There's a whole lot of tasty animals out there, when you go looking for them. Yep. Instapot is godsend too, for sure. Those slow cooked meats are also amazing with some gravy, some salt. Man, those things go good. Car. My weight loss over 8 months is not amazing, but I am 59 and I've reversed knee arthritis and thrown away the crutch. Absolutely. I use for 4 years off asthma meds. That's huge right there. I mean, to me, that's the biggest. That's huge. I had that same crap. Oh, when your lungs are messed up.
Here's our question.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That is, Kath, this is literally why they coined the phrase NSV. It stands for non-scale victories, because the scale victories come, but your body's, we need to break this mindset where size equals health, because it doesn't, right? The weight does, especially weight, doesn't equal health. And it's not a good marker, I mean, in some cases it can be if you're way underweight, but as far as being overweight, that has no real marker on your health that's directly related, right? And so you can be putting on weight sometimes on carnivore instead of losing it, and it's actually a healthy thing because you're putting on bone density and muscle and things. But yeah, that's why we have NSV, non-scale victory meetings, because the fact of the matter is the weight, water and inflammation comes off pretty quick, but then after that comes off the fat, your body is not super concerned right away about burning off all that fat. It's more concerned and prioritizes healing, which is why the quicker route, even though it's the long game, the quicker route to getting the closest results to what you want as far as getting rid of fat, which is what you're really saying when you're wanting the scale to go down, the quicker route is nourishing your body so that it can heal as fast, so that once it's healed, then it starts working its way, because it feels pretty safe and healthy. Then it feels pretty good at letting go some of that fat and prioritizing leaning down. But that takes a lot of things to happen first. And it's not like it won't happen at all. It will, and you'll lose some weight. But a healthy, nourished body with a healthy metabolic system and metabolism that's well fat adapt and has healthy mitochondria is going to burn that weight off a lot quicker for you and get you the results you want. But you have to do the healing first. So 100%. And that sounds like exactly what's happening. So all I would say is if you want a little bit more results, probably look into priming to try to heal up more quicker by eating more nutrients. And you'll probably get to where you want to go a little faster. All right. Whoop.
We already did that one, yeah.
All right. Is garlic salt okay in steak? It depends on you. That's why I would say you have really rough gut issues. So what I would say is no at first. I would stop eating garlic salt at first, give it 90 days, see if some things can help. But I also know you have IBS, which can take 3 years from what people were saying in the chat. So I don't know, but I would at least not eat garlic salt for 90 days. And then
do you really want that salt too?
Not that salt. Yeah. No. I would try getting rid of it for 90 days and then add in a freeze-dried garlic powder with a good salt.
Yeah. I think Redmond's got a garlic salt, don't they?
I think they might. I don't know. I've never actually. Garlic makes my knees swell up. That's why I don't think garlic's good for you. But that could just be me. But what I would do is add it one at a time and try just freeze-dried garlic, because if the garlic doesn't work for you, then no. You're going to know right away. So, but you need to get rid of all the crap. And so you can be on a baseline and hold it there for 90 days. So you have a good baseline of whatever your level of optimal is, and then try things one at a time, because you need to quiet all the noise and all the bad side effects that's going on, and then see if you can't narrow down what effects things have on you one at a time, But I would be highly suspicious of it. There's a lot of people that do not do good with garlic.
And Redmond's does have a garlic salt.
There you go. I would still
try going without it for a while and see if it makes a difference for you.
For sure. Yeah, that's Charlie in Maryland. That's awesome, Thomas. All right. I use garlic salt on my steaks daily. I just avoid uncooked garlic. I gotcha. Nice. Let's see. There we go. Dash of cheese and green chili or Tabasco on an omelet really helps open up the appetite for me. 100%. Yep.
It does.
All right. Reading through these. There we go. Starting priming with Coach Raymond tomorrow. How long do you have to prime? The $1 million question. Every time this comes in, I want $1. $1 every time this comes in. Yeah, it's so difficult.
What is priming?
Yeah, what is priming? Yeah, you're an N equals 1. Nobody can answer that question for you. I mean, here's what I can tell you. You're going to prime until you're nourished, and until you get the results that you're looking for, and until your body is nourished and satiated. And then you can stop priming. But how long that takes for each individual person, we've seen it be a few weeks for people, all the way up to, a year and a half. It's all over the board, depending on how much healing you need. So it's no, and I love the question. I'm not giving you a hard time. It's just, it really is the $1 million question that we wish it would be so great if it was simple enough that we could say, 11 days, 14 hours and 12 seconds. It'd be great to be able to say something like that. But unfortunately, it really depends on so many things that this is why we can't stress enough that, the SBG is so important, because you need the whole community and the whole, everybody's experience and own personal experience and process they're going through this to understand what it is that you're trying to do, what everybody else had as they're going through it, and what you can look forward to, and why, and to remember why you're there in the first place doing it. I mean, there's so much, you know. I like this. The answer is a prime number. Exactly. The answer is definitely a prime number. That's a good one. Question, Todd, doesn't it take like 900 years? I hope not. I don't think so. For me, it took 6.5 months. And then, you know, even after you're done priming and then you go do some fasting, then you use repriming
Go
to
back and forth.
to maintain, you know.
And it's good to keep the body guessing too. And you know, switch it up.
It is for sure. So yeah.
Let's hit this again.
Yes, Lindy. Yeah, so this is Lindy's GoFundMe for anybody that didn't hear us talking about it before. We appreciate you guys, but to give the synopsis, we are so close to her goal. We are at $31,147 out of 35,000. That's Australian, which I think is about 2/3 American, that exchange rate. So I think it's somewhere around $22,000 American or something, US dollars. And that's to cover her skin reduction surgery and all the costs that came with it. And she was able to already get the skin surgery because it was enough on the way to get the deposit. But me and Michael are pushing it. This makes her very uncomfortable that we're doing it, but we push it.
She's not here today.
She's not here, so and we're grown and we'll do what we want. So we are, still throwing this out there, and we appreciate everybody's help. If you can just pass it around, put it on your social medias, just get the word out. I want to make sure that, you know, as she's healing up here and everything's going, that she doesn't have any of that bill to worry about. And that's my goal here, is to see this through. Michael's goal is to see it through. So we'd love your guys' help.
So close, guys.
You're so close. Appreciate it so much. All right. Exactly. The answer to almost any question is 42. Wasn't that the computer question that they asked, and the computer, after thinking for like a year or something, came back with 42?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So we're almost there. Let's see. What are you guys' plans for next week? And let us know. Let us know in the chat. I really want to know this. And feel free to email it to me at thecarnivorecure@gmail.com as well. We're going to start having on more people. And I want to have, of course, the carnivore people on, but I also want to have on other people that you think would be interesting to you, you know, like, like any red light therapy people, any grounding people, any maybe experts in EWAT therapy, or hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or cold plunge, or breathing stuff, anything that you find helpful. I just want to pick the brains on kind of these, these, getting us back to these things, and having conversations with credible people that have had real results and been doing this a while. And also any people that might be in the weight loss community, or, health community that we think would be a fun conversation. Put them in there and let us know who that might be. I'd love to hear it. And then let us know if you guys think it'll be fun to come check out Obese the Beast on Thursday, or on sorry, did I say Thursday or Wednesday? It's Wednesday.
You said Thursday. Yeah. Well, okay,
Wednesday
it is.
Yeah, I meant Wednesday. Sorry, it's Wednesday. Well, it'll be on the up
Thursday Australian.
Yeah, Thursday Australian, Wednesday. So for sure. All right. Well, we're going to get to the bottom of these questions here, and we'll wrap up. Hey, Todd and Michael, great to see you guys. All good with Lindy? Yep, everything's good with Lindy. She's just helping her daughter today, and she got tied up and wasn't able to get back in time to make the live. So she said, let the show go on without her. So we are here. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I loved that movie. That was an awesome one. Appreciate it so much. Okay, one idea is Ketogenic Woman did a video recently with Dr. Davis. You like Marful, you make the yogurt. Okay, there you go. That's awesome. No worries. We will get you in the works, Thomas. Appreciate it. Let's see. Julie Ash. There we go. Yep. Grounding, earthing, cold shower. Yeah, I'd love to know who your guys' favorite authorities on those topics are, though, too. I mean, obviously, the Wim Hof fella. There's others for sure. But yeah, I'd love to hear it. But we appreciate y'all. And we appreciate you guys hanging out with us this Sunday. Yep. And we'll let Lindy know you said hi when we see her. And we will see you guys on Wednesday at 2 Mountain Time for a special episode. We will also see you on Friday for the SBG live stream, and then we'll be back Sunday as well. So we'll catch you guys all next time.
Yep. All right, guys. Have a good week.